I'm convinced Peter's one of those dudes where you could you could blindfold him and send him off to any part of the world. And you give him a few hours and he'll be friends with anyone.
I was saying, like, you know, the Sentinel Island on India, the one that people aren't allowed to go to? We drop him.
Pete there.
If we sent Pete, he'd figure it out.
It's like, they're actually pretty all right.
You guys just misunderstood. You guys gotta stop bothering these guys.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Trash Taste Podcast. I'm your host, Joey, and I'm with the boys, Connor and Garnt. Huh?
Why do you sound so...
Hey, guys. Welcome to another episode
Because I was at a bar last night till 4 a.m. playing Mahjong.
Oh, my God.
I slept over at the office. So that's how you know. It's been a rough couple of days for your boy.
Wait, you literally had the proper Japanese work schedule then?
No.
You're on main cam as well, so you have to have at least half the talking today.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck,
that's how it works.
Is that how that works?
That's how I've always envisioned being on the solo cam.
Oh,
You got to talk more.
Why did we decide?
It needs to cut.
Why did we decide that I was going to be the host?
The last episode we recorded, you were here. It's what we've been doing.
I can't believe we're still, like, after all these years and filming so many episodes ahead of time that we're still like, yes, we still would need to go in order of the host. Everyone needs their fair share of host time.
Maybe it's just
keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, I kind of like the moving thing.
Yeah, we should just
like King Arthur's round
advance.
table. No man is greater than.
Okay.
And I like how on this one, we're like, yes, we need to rotate every time. On After Dark, we're like,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we got our butt marks on those couches.
Same old.
Yeah, but what have you guys been up to recently?
Yeah, I mean...
What? It's a topical episode.
I know. I don't know. It's just funny. You're like, so fucking talk.
Yeah.
Will you just shut the fuck up and talk?
Do some shit. What are you here for, bro?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose me and Garnt went to the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You went to Wales?
I went to Wales. Yeah, I didn't really go to the UK. Just went,
what are you talking about?
Is Wales not UK?
I'm trying to change things. I'm trying to change things.
He's trying to be superior.
Look,
he, as a Welshman, he was like, I'm not part of England.
No.
Actually,
Yeah, I only spent one day in London. So
look, you're gonna have to clear this stuff up to non-UK people because it's already confusing enough as it is. Of like, what's not UK and what is UK and
Great Britain is the main island, the big mass that we all know, not including any of Ireland, and then the United Kingdom.
That's Wales and Scotland included.
Yes,
and England.
England. Yeah.
And then the United Kingdom is Wales, Scotland, and
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And
So you went to the UK.
Well,
Yeah.
some say. Some say.
Fuck's sake.
Some
All right.
say.
You went to Wales.
Went to Wales. It was a lot of fun because we did and this was a little while ago now. I'm sure people, they're like, oh, honk, shoot me, old news. But no, it was a lot of fun. I got to finally do something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, which was kind of show Wales as hopefully an interesting place and not the memes of it being a barren Ohio wasteland that people talk about.
Is that the memes around? I'm not up to date on the Wales memes.
The Wales memes is that all there is to do there is shag sheep.
Valid.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Because if you ever ask someone from the UK if they're from England, they'll just be like, yeah, it's nothing there because they've never been.
Yeah,
understandable.
Yeah,
because when it's in your backyard, you don't really. I'd rather go to France or Italy. Or,
sure.
Because even me, I was like, yeah, I've never been to Wales, and then we were like, and then you were like, yo, we had a show in Cardiff.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's not Wales. Is that Wales?
Is that not the fucking capital?
Well, it's only like a new capital.
Explain.
I don't know. We can fact check this one.
I don't know the Wales law.
When did capital become the Cardiff of Wales? It's like a recent capital, and it is the biggest city for sure.
Yeah,
but it's other than having a castle in the middle of the town, which is very cool in Welsh.
That was cool.
1955.
Okay.
Yeah, 1955.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of biased. I feel like because all the cool shit is just outside of Cardiff. And I feel
I would think that as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Traveling to Cardiff, I'm just like, oh, this is like almost like just another London, almost.
Yeah, kind of. It's like just the big hub, really. And it is very nice. And it's a really lovely city. But I feel like when I'm thinking of like all the really Welsh things, I think about.
I feel more times than not as well. I don't know if it's just because of the countries that I've been to. I feel more times than not the capital city of a country is usually the most boring part of that city.
Well, it's the most like sterile because it has to be kind of the hub where all the masses.
Yeah, because if I ask people to come to Australia, I'm not going to be like, yo, you should check out Canberra.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck is there to do in Canberra?
Well, yeah, it's like Canberra too. They decided. They were like, in 1955. They was like, okay, we'll make it.
Yeah, true. Would you say the same thing about London?
No.
London's its own thing.
London's a beast.
Yeah, it is like its own thing that is, I think, separate to all of England. But I would say London's still like worth going to. But
Also, London's just fucking old as shit.
yeah.
It's like a Roman stronghold. I think. I think there's still some of the original walls the Romans built. I think like I don't know how many years ago. It must have been 1500 or 2000 years ago. It's still like there. They've just been built over. Weird that we just thought to do that. Just fucking build over it. I guess stuff just gets old.
That's cool though. At least you guys have that history and culture around it.
Yeah.
You know, Australia's like, oh, what's the oldest thing we got?
A tree.
A 150-year-old pub. That's about it.
I'm sure there's some really cool shit that's old in Australia.
I'm sure. Well, I mean,
You got a big rock, right, in the desert? It's a pretty cool rock.
I mean, yeah.
We don't got a big rock.
That is true. I mean, you can't climb it anymore though.
Yeah, this is a shame.
Yeah, because it's protected land now, which is, you know, understandable. But the problem with Ayers Rock is that, you know, it's like that one thing where you go to or you look at Australia and everyone is like, oh, but you guys have Ayers Rock, which is like,
nowhere.
Yeah, it's just in the middle of the desert. There's this giant slab of rock, and it's the single biggest, I think, rock slab on the planet or something.
Half of these things are only popular, I'm convinced, because tour agencies existed in the past, and they're like, no, we'll just take you there.
Yeah. But if you actually go to Ayers Rock, there is actually nothing around it. Like from the closest city to Ayers Rock, I think it's like a 6-hour drive or something.
I imagine it is really cool though to look at it.
I'm sure it is. I've never been, so I don't know.
For me, I'm a little too lazy. That doesn't sound worth I'd rather just sit in a tent in like Melbourne on the street and just stand outside the Crown Casino. Can I have 5 pence, please? I need to hit black.
I mean, that is also an Australian experience, to be fair. Yeah.
I love the concept of this. It's just like, oh, it's just big rock.
It is. It's big rock. Big rock in middle of country.
I mean, man is like, what is worth seeing? Oh, big rock over there.
It's the Audi belly button of Australia.
I think we're memeing a bit, but I know there's some like with the did you say Aboriginal or like what did you say?
Indigenous Australians.
Yeah, is that offensive to say Aboriginal?
See, the term changes all the time. So when I was a kid, it was okay to say Aboriginal or even Indigenous Australian. I think they're called First Nation people now. Kai, you're Australian. You should know this, bro.
I saw the panic in Joey's eyes being like, please let this be right.
Look, I've been out of the country for 10 years, so give me some slack. I think they're called First Nation people now, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the term is constantly changing, yes.
Yeah.
But I think the rock has quite I call it a rock.
Oh, incredibly.
Like it's a pebble.
Yeah.
Like this fucking stone. It's quite significantly culturally important to people of Australia.
Yeah, it's like a ultra sacred area.
Yeah, that's why they closed it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That makes sense. Yeah. I think if I had a really fucking sick rock that meant a lot, I think I'd be like, stop fucking climbing on it.
Yeah. It's like, get off.
Stop pissing all over my rock.
Get off
Get
it.
the fuck off my rock.
My
it's like Australians.
Yeah.
Savages.
My parents went to Ayers Rock like before I was born. And my dad told me the story of, I guess, you know, this was like maybe, I don't know, not even within the first 10 years of my mum being in Australia. So she was very heavily underestimating Australian weather. So, because to get to Ayers Rock, you first have to go to Alice Springs, which is already in the middle of nowhere. And then from there, I think it's like a 4 or 5 hour drive. So my parents went to Alice Springs because they wanted to go to Ayers Rock. And my mum, bless her heart, she was like, oh, let's rent out a scooter and scoot to Ayers Rock. Not knowing that the drive was there, and it's also like 40 degrees at all times.
Yeah, I think
that's how a lot of people die. Is on the way 5 hour drive. It's almost a 500 kilometer drive to Uluru. But yeah, it's just really funny. She was reminiscing about it. You know, you're in 40 something degree heat in the middle of a desert. And you know, you just think like, oh, I can see it over in the horizon. So it's just a quick drive. And you drive for hours and hours, and it's like, why is it not getting any closer?
I feel like your dad trolled a little bit here. He should have vetoed this scooter idea.
Yeah, I don't know. My dad should have known better. I feel, Dad, you should have known better.
Fucking love some sand and fucking.
It's like, well, if the wife says so, I guess I'll do it. Maybe I guess I'll risk my life to go to this rock.
I feel like your dad has the fuck it, we ball kind of energy as well.
He does it. Yeah,
I feel like your dad will be like, this will. I feel like your dad saw it as an opportunity to make it so that he's always consulted now on future decisions. That's what I saw. He's like, yeah, I'll fucking do it. That's it.
It's like, all right, just this once. You've got the reins, but we'll see how it goes from there.
That's the strat. You have to hit it with a, I don't know about this, and then do it anyway, and then be like,
It's like, well, don't say I didn't tell you so.
Then you can't say I told you so.
Yeah.
Then you have to save the I told you so.
Yeah.
True.
You have to restrain yourself from saying I told you so, John.
No. It's not about the I told you so. This is called marriage couple.
Yeah.
Like, this is the strat. All right. You never say I told you so.
Then they can never say it to you.
They're wrong.
Yeah.
But in a situation like this, you can be like, "Oh, honey, this last time, I'm just saying,
It'll come back. It's like interest. You gotta let it sit. The longer you sit on it, the more
It becomes like a Pavlovian effect. The next time my mom is like, "Oh, I want to drive," you just have to say "Uluru," and she's like, "It's like you take the wheel."
But no,
Sorry for calling you out, Mom. You don't watch Trash Days. It's fine.
but going back to Wales.
Yeah.
What was on the itinerary?
Yeah. What'd you guys do?
Well, yeah, I wanted to show, because I think it's also cool that, so it's very easy having Pete, who is so
Charismatic,
optimistic,
and also just down. He's just like, everything, he's like, this sounds like the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
He's so optimistic about everything.
I was like, it's literally McDonald's. And he's like, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever had in my life. Which, to be honest, sometimes it is when it hits. True. So I wanted to kind of get a balance of things, do some interesting things, show some, maybe some of the things that are just, maybe some people would consider boring, just going to a place, looking at a thing and going, maybe, So I wanted to kind of get a balance. So we ended up going to a lot of different castles, some really amazing ones in Wales, which were a lot of fun as well. We also, what else did we do? The first day, we went to the Welsh cultural event called the Eisteddfod, which was really fun. And
was that where you got interviewed by the
yes,
BBC?
Yes.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I basically...
It's been 0 days.
It wasn't me for once.
He said BBC. He said BBC. He said it.
It's almost like Connor and I are not allowed to utter those words.
I can't say it.
It's like, I'll bring it up because I know Connor wants to talk about it,
So I basically, this was like a massive learning process for me. And I'm sure like we're all very accustomed to filming in America and filming in Japan. And I know the process of how it goes. In America, you call someone up, you're like, can I film? They're like, fuck, why don't you just show up?
Yeah.
Like filming in America is so easy. It's actually stupid how easy it is to film in America. And like people are so chill about it because everything's on camera in America.
Yeah.
In Japan, I know the process as well because there's
It's the complete opposite.
It's the complete opposite. But then it's predictable. Like I know what to expect. And the UK was like a weird one where it was kind of in the middle. Like some things were like, you absolutely need to get full permission. Some things were like, nah, just rock up.
Yeah.
And like, it was such a weird thing to have to navigate. And because I was doing all of this myself, I kind of did. Normally I'll have help in Japan. We have like a team who helps us with it. But this time I was just doing it all myself. Because I was like, I think I can explain what I'm doing the best. And it was just like varying levels of difficulty between, yeah, sure. And can you fill out risk assessment forms and provide your all this other stuff that I'd never heard of? And I would reply being like, hey, yeah, I don't know what any of this is. Can you help me out? And I felt like such a noob. I'm like, please explain this. I totally forgot about risk assessments.
Yeah.
Because we don't do that here.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
But in the UK, they're obsessed with it. And you have to fill out this thing and it was so weird because I just didn't know what to do. And so I was Googling frantically to try and figure out what this is. And like, I have to be like, okay, so if I'm filming in like an old building, I have to write down like stairs are old, could fall, or stair could break. What is the step I'll take to
so you have to write all of like the hypothetical.
Oh my God.
Do you remember this shit?
Well, I had this. I was a project manager, so you just unlocked like a fucking memory.
Wait, so you have to write down like all the hypothetical
there was one
issues
place,
that you might get?
There was one place where I had to go, and I had to. I actually had help writing this because I was so lost. I actually didn't know, and I felt like this was so dumb. But it is literally like, imagine you are dumbing yourself down to the maximum dumbness.
Yeah.
And you like point out everything that's dangerous, and then you just recognize that it's dangerous and that you've said like,
so that you're aware of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
I understand why they do it. It just felt like a little like, what? Like, but
it's a bit weird.
It's just so it's like documented down on paper,
know the risks.
so that whenever
So they can't- so
if
you
something
can't get
does
sued.
go wrong, that you know who to blame. It's basically
So like
goes
if
down
we
to
were in
that.
like an old historical place, I'd have to put like the stairs are slippery.
Yeah.
And so if someone fell,
So if someone slips on the stairs, you could be like, well, we tried to mitigate that risk, but there was something that we didn't see.
Right. So you
know?
can't sue us because
Yes.
you're aware that the stairs were
yes.
slippery.
So
Okay, that makes sense.
This was all like really new because like normally in Japan, surprisingly that we don't normally have to do a whole lot of paperwork outside of the generic kind of release
because
forms.
health and safety is just not a fucking thing in Asia.
Health and safety is not a thing in Japan.
Like in the UK, it's like
true.
everything needs to be documented. What are the potential risks? In Asia, considering how much paperwork people need to go through here, you like go to a fucking race course or something and you're like, you don't really need a driver's license, you know?
Yeah, that's fine. Just put your name and phone number down.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Well, I don't know. Maybe because this is, I guess Japan is a lot less sue happy. I feel like they don't normally sue in Japan. It's kind of, I've never even heard of it happening.
I mean, it's
like
only
small
really
things.
happens in like super serious situations.
Right,
but even
right.
then, it's like, it just seems like a pain in the ass process to go through.
For everyone.
Yeah, for everyone.
Yeah, I quite like it. I like that everyone's first instinct isn't to fucking file a lawsuit.
Yeah. Legit.
Normally you try to mediate a lot here, which is nice. Not that I've had to do that, but from what I've seen. Anyway, so that was a whole thing, getting used to that. And it was nice being able to, like, because, in Japan, for me, it's a little tough to kind of, if I ring up and I'm like, satsue ii desu ka? And sometimes they're like, and then they ask me a bunch of stuff that I have no idea about. And I'm like, I'm going to ask Nabi for help now. It's kind of fun getting to do it on my part.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough of the boring planning stuff. Planning took forever, but we got everything kind of set out. Very stressful having to explain to places, like, hey, I'm rocking up at this time. And I need to rock up at this time, and I'm leaving in like an hour. And they're like, but we have a 4-hour tour. And I'm like, I need to leave at an hour because we got to do something else, and we got to leave. And it's all really weird because all of them thought like, oh yeah, we've done filming. I'm like, no, this is like different. It's all live. Yeah, all that stuff. So super new learning process for me. A lot of fun though, and it just takes a lot of the stress out of it when you've got permission and stuff.
Yeah,
because most places you can a lot of places you can rock up and you can be like, hey, is it okay if I film? And they say no, whatever. But obviously when you're kind of flying across the world and kind of banking on this working, you're like, I kind of want it to go smoothly. So anyway, we sorry to bore about planning stuff. It is a pain in the ass, but fun to do occasionally. Made this beautiful itinerary. I don't know, I'm making shit up. And then we went to the Stedvod. Anyway, so the Stedvod was really interesting because they were like, for me, it was interesting talking with them because they're like kind of a, it's like just a Welsh cultural event. They're not used to live streamers showing up or YouTubers or anything like that. It's all like legacy media.
Sure.
So every question that they asked me, I was like, I am streaming this. Like this is different from, because a lot of the questions like were definitely for mainly like
what?
Okay. They were like, yeah, you can start at 10, but then come meet us at the media booth for a meeting at 10:30. And I was like, okay, wait, like, well, we will be live at that point. I can't.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of stuff where I had to kind of like explain, like, no, the camera's on the whole time. It's like pushing the whole thing. Like I can go away from the camera and talk to you. We can do stuff like that, but like that'll be on the whole time.
Yeah.
But they were super receptive and they were like, come on down, come show it. And it was so fun. And I got to show like, a very intense Welsh day because everyone at this thing like 95% of people at this event can speak Welsh.
Okay.
And everyone is like speaking Welsh most of the time. So it was really fun to kind of throw Pete in the deep end and be like,
So what's like the main like draw for this event?
So it's they have 3 of these Welsh cultural events every year, and there's one for kids, one for adults, and one that's international.
Okay.
And so this one was the one for kids. So this will be like all the kids who competed in the different events. It's like the finals for kids.
Okay.
For kids below 13. Kids below 13, I think. But we didn't film any of like the competitions or anything like that. We just went around.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff to do. We did some archery, some axe throwing, went on a bunch of sketchy fair rides, did a couple of plate spinning, had a bunch of food. It was really fun. And
so is it kind of like Renaissance fair vibes or?
No, just like a normal fair.
Okay.
Like a normal fair with, I guess to keep it.
Say a state fair.
Sounds
like state fair.
Like a state fair, but because, if a lot of the parents are coming because their kids are competing, or maybe they just live nearby and they want something to do for the day.
Sure.
So it's kind of like they need other stuff outside of just,
the competition.
The competition. And there's also like informational booths. So if you want to like go to a Welsh university, they'd have a booth there. You could go up and chat with them or like a tent, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So there's a lot of like things to do. So luckily, and I didn't know that though. I didn't know how many things there were because when I was a kid, I don't remember it being that much. Because I was like, I remember it being pretty boring when I was a kid. But it was a lot better this time, so I was very happy about that. And so I was like, yeah, Pete, we should do this. And my main objective was that I wanted someone, and I had asked them beforehand if they could get someone who could teach us, because I did this while I was in school. It's called Danshoguarin. It's kind of like folk dancing.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get someone to teach us how to do folk dancing as well as like the tapping one. I forgot what it's called. Not tap dancing. It's called something else in Welsh. I forgot what it was. It's kind of like tap dancing.
Like river dancing, kind of?
It's very much like river dancing.
Right,
It's very much like the Welsh name for it.
Right,
But they all, I think, come from the same thing.
Sure.
And they were like, yeah, we found someone who's going to teach you. And that was happening at like 12:30. So the whole day was kind of like building up to this like thing where we're going to finally get involved and get taught. And in between, I guess for some reason the BBC had heard that I was there streaming. And so they wanted to have an interview with me. And I was like, okay, cool.
It's like, guys, the world's most famous Welsh person is here. He's back home.
Well, they were just wondering, like, why would you want to like live stream this?
Yeah.
And so we were live streaming, we were chatting with them. And it was a very standard interview. And I did it in Welsh, which was tough because this is day one. So I'm kind of trying to like restart the Welsh engine.
It's a bit rusty,
Yeah, I'm kind of rusty. And a lot of people who haven't heard Welsh, there's a lot of English words that get used because they're loan words, kind of like Japanese. You know, it's like they don't have a word for cheeseburger. It's the same thing in Welsh.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah. You know, same with YouTube. Because they're asking about YouTube every 5 seconds, it sounds like YouTube, Twitch, YouTube.
Right.
So that's that. I had my interview, and then afterwards, Pete was there, and they were like, "Oh, we'd love to interview you as well, Pete." So Pete, you know how Pete is. Pete just nails it. He's just being so funny. He's playing it up. You know, he's playing the American who wants to find his Welsh, Irish, British roots to like 11. It's so funny. He kills it. He's a natural. He's phenomenal. And later that day as well, with this interview, they'd posted mine to like socials and stuff, and I got like tagged in it. I was like, oh, that's nice, thank you. But they posted Pete's to the actual like BBC page. So like on the like full interview, like if you went to the BBC app that day on videos, it'd be like one of the top ones. Was Pete, and Pete's like, yeah, man, I'm like 1/10 Welsh or something. I might be more Welsh than the people here. It's so, and it was literally on like on the fucking BBC.
The BBC guys are like, nah, it's too gold to not hear.
The BBC International News is fucking Pete being
American comes
so
to Wales.
It was so perfect. He played it up so well. It was just really funny, and it was great to see it. I don't know, it was just really funny to see it happen. It was great.
Yeah.
And we finally went to this like dancing thing where as we were getting ready for this dancing, I saw my like old physics teacher there, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh
clip.
yeah, I saw the clip as well.
I was like, "What the fuck, Bryn? What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm the one who's going to be playing the accordion for you." And I was like, "Yo, okay." So when we learned how to do the folk dancing, he was the one playing the accordion.
So did he know you were coming?
No.
Oh shit!
He wouldn't have remembered me. I don't think. I'm sure he'll say he might.
It's like, teach. Do you remember me? He's like,
yeah.
But yeah, so he played the accordion, and that was awesome.
Yeah,
just, accordion's so sick, and it was so cool watching him as they were teaching us these because they were like super talented. They were like 18-year-olds. They were both like phenomenal, like best. They'd won the competition before.
Yeah.
As they were slowing down or speeding up, he was doing speeding up with the music or slowing down. It was so cool to see with the accordion. Because the accordion, you know, you're moving like this. So to see it go like, all right, it's so sick.
It's an incredibly difficult instrument as well.
So badass.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. Did that. And then I think, we went to this like beautiful wine place. Anyway, other highlights, trying to think. Okay, so the Welsh Culture Festival was probably one of my favorite days for sure.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Factor. Summer is here, and that means more sun, more light if you go outside, which we don't do that.
Speak for yourself,
But more fun. You got me. But more time to do all the things that make summer so special. And the number one thing you don't want to be doing all summer is spending hours cooking inside. Factor's chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well.
Yes, Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat. Perfect for any active lifestyle over summer and beyond. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. Choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more.
Factor powers your day, sun up to sundown, with nutritious breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. Factor has your whole day covered. Enjoy more this summer. Get Factor if you want all the flavor and none of the fuss.
Every time I go to the US, I eat all the Factor that Ludwig has in his fridge, and I intend to do that again this time. And get started at factormeals.com/trashtaste50 off and use code trashtaste50 off to get 50% off 50%? Plus free shipping on your first box.
My God.
That's code trashtaste50 off at factormeals.com/trashtaste50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/trashtaste50 off. Back to the episode. And then we went on. What did we do on the second day? Oh, dude. So I'd hired this expert to find out all about Pete's grandma, who was Welsh. And that was like one of the main points of this thing was to find out about Pete's grandma. Now, the problem is that Pete told me where his grandma was from, and it isn't a very nice place in Wales.
Okay.
One of the like roughest places in Wales, maybe.
Okay.
Right.
Because it used to be a big coal mining town, but obviously coal mining became not so popular.
Right.
And so I was like, oof, okay. But I think this will still be really fun because we'll learn out all about his history. We can go around the town and stuff. The problem was that it started raining like fucking buckets that day. It was awful. And we were going to go around the town and kind of like talk about his family's history and stuff.
Sure.
So it didn't go very well. And then on top of that, it was just quite sad because every single thing we went to, we'd be like, this is where your mom used to live. This is the exact street. Look how cool it used to look. And now it looks
And
like
now it's
shit.
dilapidated as fuck.
There was like the houses were fine, but you know, there was this big school that she went to that would have been really imposing and really cool. And now it was a field.
Yeah,
Right. It's
right.
gone.
Right.
There's
Well, I
nothing
mean,
there.
you know, fuck, it was like how many years ago?
Yeah. And then there was the main street where you'd, do all your shopping.
Yeah.
And be like,
Yeah.
this is the street right here. And it looks not
Yeah,
great.
it's not there anymore.
and it looked fucking amazing before.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
looked
yeah.
so cool. And so, it's raining. It's not going well. And like the information isn't hitting quite, it is. I mean, he's interested. It's cool. But it's just kind of sad.
Bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite bittersweet, right? Because you're seeing like this place where his grandma left, but the place is falling on hard times.
Yeah,
and it just kind of makes you think
yeah.
like, damn, this place used to be like something really amazing. And then like on one of the sites, I can't remember what was used to be there, but there was just a fucking CBD vape shop where there used to be something like really epic and amazing. And it's like, this is so sad. This is so sad.
Of all the things it could have been.
Yeah. It was just, it was rough. And then I did manage to take him though. There was a chip shop that had been there for a long time. So we went to the chippy, and I asked when I went inside, I was like, "Is it okay if we film and we come inside?" And I kind of told them what we were doing. I was like, I want my American mate to experience a chippy, and they took it as like challenge accepted.
Yeah, right.
Because they fucking made everything.
Oh my
damn.
God.
And I've never seen Pete look so miserable eating that food. He opens up. Have you ever seen the chippy like portion size?
Yeah. I mean, I assume it's the same as Australia.
It's
just
fucking ridiculous.
huge.
It's like
Yeah.
3 kilograms of soggy chips. It's fucked. And he's trying to eat it, and bless him, he's Pete, so he's trying to be like, oh, it's so good. And it was good food, but after like 4 bites of the chippy chips, it's
a lot of oil.
You're like, God damn,
you're doing it for calories. You're not doing it for the love of the taste.
Yeah.
This is carb loading max level.
Yeah.
And dude, the chip shop was so good there, and all everything. Weirdly enough, I feel like, and chip shops know this, the chips are like the worst part of the chip shop. Like everything else is so good, like the sausages, the pies.
Yeah.
They had other stuff too that was
I
amazing.
like the chips.
I like only like the first 5 spoonfuls,
Okay, yeah.
and then it starts to get really
It's not the
soggy.
main course.
Because, when someone's like, oh, this chip is like soggy and like not like, not crispy and hard. And I'm like, I don't know. Part of me is just like, I like the soggy chips actually. I know that's a hot take, but
It's situational. I
Okay.
understand what you're getting at. Some
We
days,
did not have the appropriate cutlery to scoop.
yeah.
They were all crumbling as well.
Especially with
right.
fish and chips as well. If the chip is too crispy and fresh, I'm like, this ain't fish and chips.
No, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know?
we agree on
But
that.
it was impressive. And I think he loved the energy, but I'm not sure if he could eat it
Was the
again.
food good at least?
It was really good. It was just so dense.
Yeah, right.
It's like pure oil.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was like 14 pounds for like enough food to feed 8 people. It was actually like ridiculous
God.
value for money. It was an
Right.
amazing chip shop. So shout out to them. And then what else did we do?
Did you take him to a pub?
We did go. Yeah, that night we went to a pub because that day was like.
I assume you went to many pubs,
dude. Well, actually,
and what else is there to do?
So we, that day was kind of a, it was fun, but it was kind of like, it was kind of like a couple of things went wrong. It was raining. It was kind of a miserable day, and there was a lot of driving. And it was just kind of like the driving obviously was the worst part.
Yeah,
but we had to drive. Yeah. So it's it's what can you do? And that day we pulled over at one point, and I was like, I'm going to call this pub real quick, and I'll just see if they're okay with us filming. Yeah, I feel like the odds are no, but let's call up. And so I called it up, and this really nice woman answered the phone, called Neris, and she's, I'm like, hey, we want to come and film in your pub. But I'm going to warn you, we're live streaming. It's going to look a bit weird, and here's what we're doing. We have these, we have this American, I'm trying to show them around Welsh. She's like, oh, yes, no, that's okay. Yes, okay. And I feel like, and when I hung up, and I was like, I just feel like she didn't understand what we're doing.
Right.
Like I fully explained everything. Like I'm like, we are live streaming. We'll have a big camera. There's a camera guy. There's an American who's loud. I'm sorry about that. I can't fix that. Is it okay if we show up and do it? And she's like, yeah, but you'll have to talk to the owner when you get here.
Sure.
Okay. Well, it's on the way, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. So I go in. We get to this pub that looks like it's been there for a very long time, and I walk in to go and talk to this pub owner, and as I walk in, it is generally like Hot Fuzz, this scene. It's like three old men at the center pub, and they just stare at me, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing in here? And I walk into this this room, and I'm like, oh, hi, Neris. Who should I talk to? So I talk to the owner, and this owner comes out, and again, he's just like straight-faced, big guy, just staring at me, not cracking a smile at all. And I'm like, hey, so here's what we're doing. We're trying to film this. Is it okay if we do this? We'll be mindful. We'll not film any of the customers. They don't want to be filmed. He's like, okay, I'm going to go cook now, so don't bother me. That's what he said. And I was like, okay. So we go in, and then, obviously it's a little like, oh God, there's like the three older gentlemen. We've got a camera in here now. We're at a pub. But of course, this is nothing for Pete. Within like 2 seconds, he starts going to the bar, befriending everyone, and he just becomes a local in 4 minutes. He starts asking everyone questions. It's so cool to see him do it.
He truly is invincible.
Yeah. It's just crazy watching him do it. I'm always in awe because I think I could do it, but I would feel awkward, and I feel like that would come off a little bit. Yeah. But he's just so good at just getting in the situation and just like putting everyone at ease and cracking jokes, even when the camera's on. Like he's just so good at it. And it's a superpower, I think.
Yeah,
like having
definitely.
him there. And so he immediately, within 5-10 minutes, the entire bar is bantering with us and Pete mainly. Yeah. But they're okay with us filming and stuff. It was just great vibes. It was a really cool pub because it was like the most local pub. One of the most local pubs I've been to in a long time.
I'm convinced Pete is one of those dudes where you could you could blindfold him and send him off to any part of the world. And you give him a few hours, and he'll be friends with anyone.
I was saying, like, the Sentinel Island on India, the one that people aren't allowed to go to. We drop
send Pete there.
If we sent Pete, he'd figure it out.
It's like, they're actually pretty all right.
You guys just misunderstood. You guys gotta stop bothering these guys. I feel like he would get it done.
Yeah,
like that's exactly what he did. And he would, like, every single time he'd go to the toilet, he would be 15 minutes because he would have a banter conversation with everyone at the bar and everyone at all the other customers. He would just get it done. It was so impressive.
Hell yeah.
It was like magic watching. Yeah. But like that is a situation where I feel like streaming in a pub, in a very, very local pub with only like 5 or 6 customers is really tough. And so to watching him do that was like, kind of make the atmosphere really chill. Everyone's
That's probably the most exciting thing that's happened to them in the last 10 years.
True.
You go into those local pubs, it's just like any little thing that's new and different. Everyone's like,
oh, Americans, I've seen them on TV.
It's so tough for me as well. It's like I feel like because I don't have a Welsh accent at all.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like I am even more of an outsider than like Pete.
Right.
Because I'm like this pompous Southern British sounding guy who just showed up at a local Welsh pub. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I speak Welsh. I'm Welsh.
I'm one of you guys.
We just went to the Eisteddfod. Guys, fuck, I'm one of you. Be nice. But yeah, I feel like there's a bit of disdain initially when I talk and I sound like this. I sound like a fucking, I sound ridiculous. And so it's hard for me to blend in.
Yeah.
Because people think like, oh,
your accent.
Yeah, because people are like, oh, you're British. It'd be fine. I'm like, no, it's even worse. Yeah. Because I sound British. I don't sound Welsh.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But it was great. And he, like absolutely like just handled the situation perfectly, and it made that stream really, really good. And
Yeah,
it made that day really, really fun.
Yeah.
The next day, we rented out a longboat. Then do you know what these are? The canal boats.
I assume it's a boat that is long.
It's a canal boat.
Okay.
And this, we can pull it up. So in Wales, there is the largest aqueduct in the world, I believe.
Okay.
And I think maybe we can.
Okay, these things. Right?
That one, that bottom second picture on the right.
Oh, that one.
No, sorry, right next to it. You had it. Yeah, that.
I think I've seen a video on this before.
Yeah, this is the Ponticaseste aqueduct. Really cool. And we went over it on one of those boats. But
nice.
So I called them up, and they was like, "Yep, you can rent the boat for the whole day." And there's no questions asked. I don't need a license. I don't need to do anything. They were like, "No, it's just like a little."
Oh, you drove it?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. That's
I guess
what
it
looks
is like on a rail.
Yeah. Well, that part's fine. That part's fine. It's the part where you are actually in the canal, because we did like a couple of miles.
Yeah.
And you have to dodge other boats, give way. You have to take over.
I see.
You have to moor it. You have to like dock the boat, which is also hard.
Yeah.
All of this was given not much explanation. So we rocked up at 9. The safety briefing was 20 minutes long. And I hadn't started the stream yet because the guy didn't want to be. He didn't say if he did or didn't want to be filmed. He kind of was like, and I was like, okay, you don't want to be filmed.
Yeah.
I just won't. So I didn't stream it, and I thought, okay, he's going to give us the safety instruction, and then we can just go. And then I'll start the stream, and we can go. We can introduce you to the boat. This did not happen. What happened is that he was like, okay, go on over to that boat, and then another guy got on our boat and started the boat and just went. And then he was like, all right, so, and by the way, the boat's moving, and we're about to get onto this aqueduct.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, so, so, you turn this like this. Yeah, just don't lean on it. Yeah, that's about it, really. And just make sure you tie it up properly. Don't use the middle rope. I was like, okay. And then I was like, what about, the other guy said something about teaching us knots. You were going to teach us knots. And he was like, nope. And then he jumped off the boat and got on the side and walked off. And then we were on the aqueduct. And so then the stream hasn't started, and we're fucking crossing the main point of the fucking stream.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, Pete, just start stream.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get over this boat, and it was like, I was like freaking out. And then he taught me and Ian how to drive the boat.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, we're on this boat. I'll let Ian take over. And so I go down to the live stream. Turns out Ian did not know how to drive the boat, even though it's not his fault. It was very difficult.
Yeah.
But I guess for some reason I was okay at it. I felt really confident in steering it. It's really hard because the boat can't turn when reversing. So you have to kind of, and you don't have a lot of room.
Yeah,
the canals are pretty small, and the boat's pretty fucking long.
Yeah.
It was very stressful. A couple of things I didn't know we had to do. Like if you went, there's some periods where you have to draw the bridge. Like you have to get off the boat and draw the bridge. And then I didn't know this because we were just following someone else. Yeah. And so afterwards, when we went through this bridge, there was a woman who was shouting at us. She's like, "You've got to close the bridge. You've got to close the bridge." I'm like, "What? What?" And so then I sent Ian, and Ian went to go and close the bridge. But then we needed a tool that was on the boat, so Ian had to run back. The boat doesn't go very fast, by the way. It goes less than walking speed.
Yeah.
But like, you're like, "Oh my god, what the fuck? This is ridiculous."
Yeah.
We kept bumping and stuff, and it was really fun though. It was genuinely. So it would be such a great Boiis trip to do.
Yeah.
You can rent this thing like a whole day or overnight. You can like park up in most places.
Hell yeah.
And so when we got halfway, we docked up and then just went to the pub that was outside.
Yeah. Oh,
and there was an outside area. It was great.
Cool.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And that was really, really cool. That might have been my favorite day.
I think I've seen a Tom Scott video on this.
This seems like a very... I'm looking at that and I'm like, this seems like such a Tom Scott video idea.
I think it's where I've seen it.
I assumed like the Romans built it because it was impressive, but it was built in like 1850 or something by a Welsh engineer. It's really cool. There were some parts where the metal was like cracked and there wasn't much like wall. And so I'm going on it with the boat and I'm like, what the fuck? And you're really close when you're...
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these images.
It looks terrifying if you look over to the right.
You can just trip and
fall. It's genuinely terrifying. Jesus. You go over like 3 or 4... No, you go over like two different aqueducts on this little thing that we did.
Yeah.
And at one point there was a guy who was like stuck and it took like 3 boats to pull him out.
Jesus.
That happened a lot too. The boat would just get stuck. So like there's tunnels as well, which is terrifying. It is literally this old ass tunnel that is about your height when you're standing out, and you have to go through it, but you can't go if someone else is coming. It takes a really long time for someone to come, and you're not really sure. So sometimes you have to wait. And then one time, or like 2 or 3 times, I had to park the boat up to wait for the boats to go past so we could go, and the boat would just get stuck in the like mud on the side because we got too close to the side, and so I'd have to put my foot off the side or like use a fucking stick to like push us off. It's ridiculous. It's like, it was so intense. It was a lot more intense than I thought it was going to be, and a lot more hands-on.
And look at the risk assessment on that.
Well, and I did not have to fill out a risk assessment form for this.
Thank God.
Oh, so this one you didn't have to fill it out?
I had to sign a bunch of waivers there. That I wasn't going to damage me or the boat or anyone else, and I didn't.
Or
so
the aqueduct.
Or the aqueduct, and I didn't. Too. Luckily, the aqueduct is like a rail, so that was like the easiest part.
Yeah.
But you feel it like moving. But the whole time, all I could think about was the fucking Peep Show episode. You ever seen that?
Oh, I know the exact one.
Where they
Is that the one where they
eat the dog?
Yeah, they run over the dog.
You're gonna have to explain this in context, bro.
There's a really famous British sitcom called Peep Show, which I highly recommend you watch. It's like my favorite TV show ever. And there's a whole episode where like it's kind of like, the way I describe it is it's always sunny, but they get consequences for all their horrible actions. And they're as horrible.
Yeah.
They're as horrible as people from Always Sunny, and they get the consequences. Unlike It's Always Sunny, where it feels like it resets.
Right.
So there's like an episode where they're trying to win over these girls, and
there's a guy. One of the guys is trying to get with a girl, and the girls trust them to look after their dog.
Oh my God!
And then they accidentally, in the process,
like
run the dog over.
Yeah, they reverse
over the dog.
And the dog's called like Mummy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you remember the name.
Yeah, and he's like carrying these dog remains around for a while.
Yeah, because they try to burn the evidence, but unfortunately they get caught. So they're like, shit, like just hide the body, right? And so they're like, what's in the bag? And it's like, oh, it's just chicken. We were just barbecuing chicken.
Yeah. Oh God. And he's eating it. And he's like, God. Mark, you should eat some. Eat some of the turkey, Mark. And he doesn't eat it. And then she's like, oh my God, is this his name tag? It says Mummy. Well, that's how the episode is.
Right.
But, yeah, that's because I think the whole premise of that episode is that it's his like stag do. It's Mark's stag.
Yeah, Mark Stag or something.
Yeah, like that. It's oh my God, it's an iconic episode and quite unhinged.
Yeah, right.
It's like probably the most unhinged episode of that show.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Anyway, so that was great.
Boys, I'm sure there are a lot of people who watch Trash Taste who want to come to Japan, but maybe, they just can't.
If only they could experience the taste of Japan without being here.
But how could they possibly do that, Joey?
Let me tell you, boys, it's called Sakuraco.
Whoa! This episode of Trash Taste is sponsored by Sakuraco.
Sakuraco is a monthly Japanese artisan snack box that supports local makers across Japan. Each box is carefully curated with traditional and seasonal snacks like mochi, dorayaki, manju, and more, including signature Japanese teas and an exclusive homeware item. Sakuraco globally delivers an authentic taste of Japan to your home. And of course, every single month, Sakuraco has a particular theme. What is this month's theme, Garnt?
This month's theme is Mount Fuji summertime, Joey, because it is summer now and we can definitely feel it in the studio right here.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't wait to cool down with some Konyaku jelly. I know you love jelly, Connor.
I'm not a jelly guy, but there is a lot of other stuff that I really, really like.
Such as what?
It's the Crown Melon. Let's give it a shot. That sounds great. Oh my God, look at that.
It's like a wafer. It's like a Crown Melon wafer. Did you know Sakuraco comes with a cultural booklet that not only tells you a bunch of information about the snacks, where they're from, what they're made of, but also important stuff like allergen information as well.
Oh my God. This is childhood, man. Oh.
And also there should be a tableware item in there as well. The famous Hokusai Katsushika painting.
Really nice. Yes. And if you love all of these treats, we think you'll really love your very own box. And you can get one by using code TRASHTASTE down below. It's like having a little piece of Japan in your home.
And guys, these boxes do ship globally, so don't worry, no matter where you are, you can get one of these, guys.
They'll be there before you can say oishi.
Thank you to Tokyo Treats and Sakuraco for sponsoring this episode. Back to the episode. Fourth day, we went to the highest rated restaurant in Wales, 2 Michelin stars.
Ooh.
That was the main highlight. We also went to a castle. We went to Caernarfon Castle, which is really cool, and Port Merion, which is like this really cool Italian Mediterranean style architecture town in Wales. It looks really sick. If you type it in Port Merion, it should come up.
You're gonna have to spell it for Kai, bro.
It should come up. E-I, M-E-I. Yeah, that one. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like a kind of like really crazy looking place in Wales.
Yeah. Oh, that's super
really,
pretty.
really cool. Highly recommend going. But we went to this fucking 2 Michelin star restaurant in Wales. And this is by far the most expensive restaurant I've ever booked in my life.
Right.
But I thought, fuck it. We're in Wales. Let's show that the UK has some good food. And when we pulled up, it looked like a place where you would be murdered in a film. Because we had to go to the middle of nowhere, and it was like a compound.
Right.
And it was like fields and tents and like a mysterious house that was painted black. And then they had like a cellar that was visible as well. And a big like orange glass
like
door.
the setting in like Cluedo or something.
Genuinely, yeah. It was like really like, what the heck? And I run in and I'm like, okay, we're filming. Is it all good? She's like, yeah. She's like, are you good to, it was like 5 o'clock. She's like, are you good to go in 20 minutes? I was like, I think so. Yeah, I think we're good. She's like, okay, just so you know, it'll be a 29-course meal and it will be 5 hours. I was like,
what?
I was like, I didn't know that. I should have probably done more research.
Yeah.
I just assumed it was like nice.
So that was just a day worth of content.
Well, you were eating for half the day.
Yeah, we were eating for half. So I was like, oh shit, okay. All right. Damn. And so I went back to the guys like, by the way, guys, it's 29 fucking courses. And they were like, what? And we were all like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Full disclosure, the price of this was, I think, £400.
Okay.
So like $500. Insane.
Well, I mean, you are eating enough to feed a small kingdom.
Yeah, because I know people always want to know. So you can obviously take that in mind. And I think, you know, obviously the whole time people are memeing me because like, dude, and I know people, this is the curse of living in Japan. This happened to be at other restaurants too, where like they bring out Japanese ingredients and they're like, this is a hamachi. This is a suit. And you're like, And then chat's just like spamming lol overpaid Japanese food.
Yeah.
Lol. So I'm like, I'm there sitting there. And then we get inside and there's other customers in the room with us in this little lounge area. We're waiting. And I'm like, oh, this vibe is like a little intense. And I kind of figured it could. I knew it was a risk.
Yeah.
I was like, shit. And then the Wi-Fi dies. And then I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Why is the Wi-Fi dying? So I asked the staff, I'm like, can I get on your Wi-Fi? Yeah, get on it. So I get on the Wi-Fi. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
Great. So I have my style like outside of the window we're sitting at, maybe like a meter away from us.
Yeah.
It isn't working at all. I'm
Right.
like, this is ridiculous. It's right there. It should be working.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck do I do? And normally the way that we live stream, the device that uses it cannot connect to public Wi-Fi. Because you know when you connect to public Wi-Fi and it brings up a page and it's like, put your email in. I can't log into any of those because it's kind of like a
security thing.
Yeah, but it can log into public Wi-Fi if it's just completely open public Wi-Fi.
Right.
And it was. So luckily I connected to it and it worked in this one room. It's like, great, it worked. And then in this room, we had a drink and then they gave us this soup. And this is where I knew shit was about to get real because they gave us this duck broth soup. And I was like, it's like brown liquid. Well, how good can it be? And we take one sip and I'm like, it's the most intense flavor of anything I've ever had in my life.
Right.
It was like, and I was like, how did you make this? They were like, yeah, it's like duck bones, stuffing, everything they didn't use with the duck. And I was like, this could have been the 29 courses, this duck soup. and best thing was, that wasn't even one of the fucking courses.
Oh,
wait, so it was actually 30 courses.
That was like the otoshi.
They were just giving you a little something to get you a little excited. I was like, that's fucked up. And they're like, do you want to come in the room and watch him like cut sushi? And I'm like, okay. So we go.
I bet you've never experienced this.
Yeah, so we watch him. You know, and I know they were really sweet about it because they were self-conscious too. They were like, yeah, we know that you all live in Japan and stuff. And so that, you know, they were understandable about it.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll say this because this has happened a lot where people assume, and maybe you've had this as well, Jerry, as well, that because we live in Japan or you're Japanese, that you never ever want to try sushi anywhere else in the world. And most of the time, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. But I've been to some restaurants where they I wouldn't even call it sushi with what they do with it. They always add some weird stuff or they cook it in a certain way or they prepare it in a way that is, they would never even dare to do it in
It's like a remix of sushi.
Yeah, that is always like actually quite nice. I've had a couple in LA where I've really liked what they've done with it.
Yeah,
they've added some
absolutely.
ingredients that I wouldn't have added. Maybe they added some like sriracha powder or something that I wouldn't think to add that I feel like adds a lot.
I mean, look, as much as as much as we all know California rolls are not sushi, if there's California rolls on the menu, I'm eating that shit.
So when
great.
people are like, oh, the only real sushi's in Japan. If you want authentic sushi, I guess, I suppose. But I think sushi...
What even is authentic now?
Just like,
you know?
adding nothing. It's just fish with wasabi and soy
which is
sauce.
great. But again, if you want to spice it up and it still tastes good,
so if you live in a foreign country, look, your sushi is great too. It's just different, and I think when you come to Japan, you will enjoy a different flavor.
No, totally.
I think this is going to go on a tangent, but I think food is like, especially like modern cuisine, has evolved in a way where it's just become a lot more international. Right? There used to be a time where the term like fusion was just like cringe as fuck, just because it was just like, okay.
Now it's fucking awesome.
Foreigner tries to cook cuisine of a country they've never been to, or something like that. But now it's kind of like, okay, there's a real respect for the original dish, but then there's these local flavors that add to it, and a lot of the times I'm like, holy shit, this fucking slaps.
Yeah.
Because I had a similar experience where I went to, me and Sydney had our anniversary in England this year.
Yeah.
We went to a restaurant in Brighton, and one of the dishes there was chawanmushi.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. But I don't know, they added some like extra like seasoning because in Japan it's like super simple, right?
Yeah, it must be simple.
It's super simple, but they added some extra ingredients and some like local ingredients as well. And I'm like, I don't know what you added to this, but this doesn't taste like anything I've ever had in Japan.
Yeah.
And it tastes different, but it still tastes fucking great.
Yeah. Sometimes I would argue that the thing that is, remixed from the original food, I sometimes feel is even better than the original.
Yeah.
It's like the way I like to describe it is like, it's like, playing a mod in a game versus just playing the vanilla form. It's like the vanilla game is still good, but sometimes some mods are better than the original game.
Right. Yeah. When you had a lot of sushi, sometimes you want to add some mods to the experience.
Add some mods to it, and it enhances the experience in some ways.
So I was really worried initially when it was like a lot of Japanese stuff being shown. They were like, we got Wagyu too. I'm like, oh. Okay, so.
Of course you do.
Wagyu. All right, sure. But he's got Wagyu. All right. And also I feel like Wagyu is just plain overrated.
Yeah.
I feel like
in most cases it is.
I still, after maybe because it's Japan and we've been spoiled, but like, it
has great marketing overseas.
Oh my God.
Wagyu. I mean, Japanese cuisine in general has great marketing overseas because whenever you go to like a more like fine dining kind of like establishment, like 90% of the time it's gonna have some kind of like Japanese ingredients, if not a Japanese dish.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's like uniformity. Everyone knows Wagyu, right? And I think that helps. Whereas beef, it's like I don't really know what is like the big.
But beef from Japan,
right. Exactly, right. Where it's like, bro, I've had some of the fucking best steaks in my life in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's and I just kind of prefer a normal steak anyway. So it is what it is.
So you had the Wagyu.
So we, the 29, and we get, and then after the lounge area, they're like, okay, we're ready to seat you. And I was like, oh God. So we go through this room and there's like so many people so close together. And I was worried that we'd be right next to someone or we wouldn't be able to see anything or get a good angle for the camera, but they were very generous and they literally put us like in front of the chef.
Oh, nice.
So it's like, you can see me and Pete in the kitchen.
Oh, cool.
So it's actually really cool. And it's a really great seat. And I think that I appreciate, I know that they, obviously when you're filming, they're going to give you, they want to give you a good seat to show off normally, but so I appreciate that. They were very kind about it. So we had a really nice seat and it was great because then we didn't have any customers in our shop, which is great because I didn't want to, if I had paid $400 or £400 for a meal, the last thing I would want is to be in someone's fucking camera frame.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fair. I'm completely sympathetic to that. And I was very mindful of that. And I did ask them, I was like, can we please get a table where there is an angle where I don't show any customers? So, that's like a once in a lifetime experience to go to a restaurant like that. And we're very fortunate that we're fucking privileged streamers and we can go like on just a fucking work thing. But I know there are a lot of people that's like, that might be something they've saved up for years. Or
it's a experience,
And it was,
at that point where you are sitting there for 5 hours having a 29 course meal, you are paying for the experience as much as you are just paying to eat,
My only question before you move on though was, and I always ask this with anyone who ever goes to any kind of fancy restaurant, whether it's Michelin star or not, how good was the bread?
Dude, we didn't have any bread.
What the fuck?
we didn't have any bread.
All right, now I'm interested.
Okay, there's no bread.
Unbelievable.
No bread. I mean, it's 29 courses. Well, 30.
You'd hope one out of the 29 would be bread. Was there really no bread?
I think there was one point where there was bread.
Okay.
Oh, no, it was.
Can't remember.
Wait, no, there was one bread and it wasn't. It was disgusting how good it was.
Okay.
It was bread. It was bread for like.
At least it was going to be disgusting.
It was like peak bread on its own, but it was with like for scooping up.
Oh,
that's
how you know. That's how you know. Yeah.
Okay, really worried. We sit down in this restaurant. There's like 2 problems right away. For some reason, the Wi-Fi that worked in literally the room over doesn't work in this room. So now I need a new Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Great. None of my other internet things are working because we're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, why? So I'm asking the staff, can I use your the corporate Wi-Fi? I can see it's there. And they're like, nah, no. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, shit. And they connect to this Wi-Fi that none of us can connect to on our phone. For some reason, it works. So we have the stream. Great.
Yeah.
Problem 1 solved. Problem 2, it is so loud. There is literally a DJ right behind us. There is a DJ spinning disc, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
At a Michelin restaurant?
At a Michelin star restaurant, there's a guy DJ, and I'm like, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, this is so cringe. I hate this. But by the end of the night, I'm won over. It works.
It's like, damn, he was good.
Yeah. So he's like literally apparently, and they were telling me that apparently he changes the music every night. It's a different set list.
Right.
Okay, sure. We'll talk about the music in a little bit. So the courses start coming out, and it's all the sushi that starts coming out first. And it's not really sushi. It's like there'll be a piece of hamachi, and I think they all did something like really different with it. Like it wasn't just like sushi and soy sauce. It was always like like we're used to, and whenever we go anywhere in like LA or whatever it is in the world. Yeah, they had a bunch of different ingredients. I can't remember off the top of my head. There was 29 fucking courses.
Yeah.
It was fire though. It was amazing.
Oh yeah, that's good.
There was like not a single dish that was like bad.
But what was the best dish?
Well, you fucking hope so. You're paying £400 for
Yeah.
it.
Dude, so okay. First of all, the one we had one guy who was great, very funny, very fun vibes.
Yeah.
All the staff was so cool. They were so willing to talk on camera. It was amazing. It was genuinely so fucking good vibes, which I appreciate because it could have easily have gone not good vibes.
Yeah. Like super serious.
There was one point in this meal where they brought out the roast duck, and this duck had been through the fucking decathlon of preparation. It was they'd said a bunch of terminology I don't understand, but there was a duck that was. I'm telling you, the smell and the view of this duck was like salivating. It was. I don't know if you guys like roast duck.
I love
roast duck.
It was. It was like, oh my God, I can't even begin to describe how fucking good this duck looked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we literally, and then they hang it up. And so me and Pete for like the next 8 courses just kept talking about how badly we wanted to fucking eat the duck.
But I'm salivating just like
Dude,
thinking about
yeah,
roast
right.
duck.
Yeah, and we just kept making it. And like Pete, he was like, "Fuck it, I'll eat the napkin," because they had like a napkin underneath these ducks hanging, dripping.
Yeah.
He's like, "I'll fucking eat the napkin. I'm feral right now. I'll leave my wife for that napkin." And the head chef is like, I guess he could hear it. He's like laughing. And so after about like 10 minutes, he brings out the napkin for Pete to just have. And then also, I guess he's like, look, this is a little something extra on me. He cut off the skin.
Yeah.
And he gave us all a piece of the skin that isn't normally included.
salivating.
Just the skin to eat.
Yeah.
And it was like, I cannot begin to describe how insane this one bite was.
Yeah.
It is fucked up how I can, it's the bite to end all duck.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if I really wanted to eat duck and eat a fuck ton, I would just go to a local Chinese place and get a fuck ton. But as a one bite goes, it was pretty fucked.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great. And then the other thing that was really crazy was that there was one dish. Let's use the fillet, the Wagyu fillet. How could they use this? How do you think they would use a Wagyu fillet at a Michelin star restaurant? What do you think they can prepare it with? There was some weird shit that I'd never heard of.
I don't know. I've only been to a few Michelin star restaurants, and every time they bring out something as simple as a Wagyu, I'm like, oh, it'll just be like Wagyu with maybe a bit of sauce on the side and some veggies or something.
Yeah. So
I don't know what they put it on ice cream or something.
So okay, first of all, we did have ice cream. This was the most pretentious one that I was like, this sounds dumb.
Yeah.
It was like duck liver ice cream with caviar and something else. And I was like, this sounds awful.
Yeah, that sounds
And I'm like, this is going to be shit. It was like, every dish was like that. I was like, this sounds dumb. This sounds stupid. Why would you do this? And then they'd gone through like I think loads of the stuff was grown on the site as well. Like, they had like a bunch of the syrup they used, which was birch syrup or something that they harvested themselves. It was so like everything that could be pretentious was pretentious.
I mean,
Anyway,
it's
so-
Michelin stuff.
Yeah.
So the Wagyu fillet, right? This is where we were all like, oh God, Wagyu fillet. I'm paying like fucking $100 for this one stupid piece of steak. This little metal box comes out, and it kind of looks like a I don't know, like a burger box, but it's like metal. And so they're like, all right, please open the box, and you open it, and on this Wagyu fillet, I see red, yellow and like a little pickle. They just made a fucking Big Mac. It's meant to be like a cheeseburger. I'm not kidding.
Wagyu cheeseburger?
He called it the one bite burger or something. I don't know what it was.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a Wagyu that'd been turned into a cheeseburger. And I was like, okay. Actually, I'm on board. I feel like this must be some kind of joke at like the menu with the burger.
The burger thing.
Probably, yeah.
Because it's like, who just wants to go? And honestly, I think it's kind of genius because it's so pretentious. Everything about this restaurant's pretentious. So to have something that just be like a fucking burger, I'm so down.
They'll like kind of like trivialize the pretentiousness in a way.
And it was fucking godlike, obviously.
Of course.
It was amazing. Everything was amazing. It was fucking stupid. There was not a single dish that was bad. And the DJ would change songs with every dish. And then as you would bite it, the fucking beat would drop on a bunch of the songs. I don't know if he was doing it to me or that was coincidence, but occasionally you would bite into it and the beat would drop. It was ridiculous. And then it was kind of fun.
It's like a TikTok edit.
It was ridiculous, dude. And actually, you know what? It was kind of nice because it took, I'd been to like a couple, I mentioned I went to the one in Belgium. It was like I accidentally booked a fucking Michelin star restaurant. Didn't know. I went there for fucking lunch because I thought it would be cool in a church.
Yeah.
That was like really like stuffy. And it felt like if I had dropped my fork even like a little bit, like everyone would be like,
yeah.
But this was like, it kind of made it a lot more fun, like a lot more casual.
Yeah.
And then like Pete was joking like, what are you gonna do? Get like a disco ball? And then on the last dish, they fucking dropped a disco ball. It's fucking ridiculous. It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
That sounds awesome.
But then like I wanted to hate so much of it because you're like, you're like, oh, you're being pretentious. It's not worth it. But then everything was just kind of fun. Like,
see, that's what it should be, though.
They just made it like really fun, and like the food is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And like Pete, of course, he was bantering with some of the other customers.
Of course,
they were like reacting. They were like, going crazy when they're eating this food, going, "Oh my god!" And Pete's like, "That's amazing, right?" And everyone's like, "Yeah." So it's, it's all really like just. It was just like phenomenal vibes that worked out really well, and all the staff was so sweet. And
so worth the price tag.
Yeah, the most important thing is it worth the price?
Obviously, it's hard to ever justify that because at the end of the day, you're paying for food.
Yeah.
And I think it's a thing of if you can afford it, I think for the experience, you get to try expertly prepared food from a bunch of different cuisines and like
in
of
a
the
fun
highest
environment.
quality in a fun environment. Like, the amount of time got into that is kind of absurd. And if you wanted something of that level, it would probably have to cost a ridiculous amount because this all this stuff is coming all over the place and being fucking harvesting trees to make syrup to put in the ice cream. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So in there's no real way to justify it as like a common thing. But if you were like, if you
like
had
a once in a lifetime.
If you had a really special occasion, fuck yeah. I mean, like what a cool experience. And like,
totally.
Think about the actual like the amount of staff that were there working on that. It's it's really ever hard. It's really easy to justify this kind of stuff and the price, but there was a lot of love gone into it, and everyone was really nice. And if they were pretentious, I'd be the first person to be like, "Don't fucking go! Don't waste your money."
Yeah.
But
there are some restaurants definitely like that. Though,
oh, absolutely. I mean,
especially a lot of Michelin star restaurants too.
Oh, dude, I feel like obviously we're very lucky. We've been to quite a lot. We're very very privileged.
Yeah.
And more than half of them I would never ever go to again. I don't. Or even recommend. I'd think like it's just generally not worth it. But this one was really, really fun. I'm not just saying that 'cause it's Wales, but yeah, really, really good restaurant. And then thank you, Anastasia, for being so cool and having us. It was really cool. I must go back at one point in my life, and without a camera.
I must go back.
I must go back. I genuinely, and we still.
I mean, you sold it to me pretty well,
so we stayed there as well because they have accommodation there.
Oh, okay.
And there's a couple of really beautiful, and it was a shame because it's raining, it was shit, but you'd have a beautiful view of this like really amazing like estate. And we left it in the morning. They said that they'd prepare breakfast, and in my head,
it's a 29 course.
In my head, I was like, "Oh my god, that course is crazy! It's going to be something ridiculous." And I've lived in Japan, so I'm expecting the most insane breakfast.
It's what the spoon's like.
They have made a gourmet egg McMuffin.
Bro, okay. I'm sold.
And I'm not going to lie.
I'm sold.
It hit so hard. I have never in my life wanted a gourmet egg McMuffin, and now I've had it. I can't live knowing it exists. I can't have it more. It was so fire.
Hell yeah.
It was like, I think they used, I don't know what the meat was. I think it was like the Wagyu beef that they like minced. into a fillet, and it was like fresh egg.
I'm fucking hungry,
cheese.
boys.
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys. I can't wait for
fresh
lunch.
bread. I know, dude. It was like I can't. I was like slightly hungover because we drank a lot too, and it was. Yeah, bro.
They knew it's like, oh, you've been hungover, this will hit you.
I was gonna go feral, but they only gave us one. It was kind of evil. They only gave us one.
Right.
Next time if I go, I'm gonna request. Can I please get 2?
No, but that's how they bait you back in, right?
Dude.
It's they leave you on a cliffhanger and they're like, if you want more of this, you know when to come back.
At some point in my life.
Yeah.
I don't know when. I'm going back because it was so fucking good that I have to go back. And it's ridiculous.
I'm gonna need you to drop the location.
I'll say. I know, because I know, people watch and they'll be like, yeah, that's insane. That's like a monthly salary in certain places, and it is ridiculous. And I know that is, and it's always hard to talk about stuff that's expensive on the podcast because people are like, I can't relate. It's like, well, look, we're not trying to be relatable. Just trying to fucking live my life and then tell Slifer about what's going on. You know, like, and I feel like if we are so concerned with, making sure that we're like pretending or lying about like this kind of stuff, I feel like it's just an injustice to what we're doing. But no,
we're not doing this every other week, guys. Don't worry.
This is me just trying to fucking cope and explain why it's justified. You know that guy, the fucking Legend of Zelda CDI, where he's like me trying to explain why it's okay for me to go here.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Anyway,
this episode of Trash Taste is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Guys, going online without ExpressVPN, it's like having sex without using a condom. You know the repercussions, guys. Why would you want to take that risk? Did you know that every time you log into a public network, whether that be in a cafe, a hotel, or anywhere else like that, your data is not safe? It doesn't take much technical knowledge to hack someone. Just some cheap hardware will do. Even a 12-year-old could do it. And your data is valuable. Hackers can sell your data for up to $1,000 each. And ExpressVPN can stop hackers from stealing your data by creating a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. It would take a hacker with a supercomputer over 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. It's easy to use. You can fire it up with the app, and with just one click of the button, you get protected. And it works on all your devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and so much more. And it is rated #1 by the top tech reviewers like CNET and The Verge. I'm about to travel to America, so you bet your ass I'm going to be using ExpressVPN every time I log into a public Wi-Fi network. So secure your online data today by going to expressvpn.com/trashtaste. That's expressvpn.com/trashtaste to find out how you can get 4 extra months for free. That's expressvpn.com/trashtaste. Back to the episode.
we did that, and then the last day we just went to my parents' house, had a barbecue.
Nice.
That was
what a way to end.
And then maybe even better than the Michelin star restaurant. My dad makes these sandwiches. He gets fresh sausages from the butchers, and they're like tomato infused.
Yeah.
And it hits ungodly hard. Because we had to fly the next day, and we were all obviously hungover because we drank a lot.
Yeah.
So we're on our way to the airport and just eating these sausage sandwiches. It's
The dichotomy of man. Like,
it's peak.
28.
Honestly, I think those sandwiches better than the Michelin star restaurant.
I would agree with you.
And that Michelin star restaurant was god tier, but getting a sandwich from your dad.
There is something that just hits different.
He was like on the verge of tears eating the sandwich. He was like, "This is the greatest fucking thing," because he toasts the bread, adds a little bit of butter.
Yeah.
Puts the ketchup
It's the way
on.
dad makes it,
So peak. And we got through security, and in my bag, I unwrapped the other tin foil, and it's there waiting for me. And I'm sitting there with my Pret a Manger 3-pound coffee. I'm like, I was so sad to leave. And that was the Wales trip, and it was really cool. Sorry for going on forever, because I know people who watched any of the streams.
No,
it was
all good.
It was genuinely really, really cool for me because I really, really wanted to show off Wales and show how fucking cool of a place it can be.
Yeah.
And even then, I didn't get to show. I could do another 5 days. There was so much more cool stuff that we could have done that we didn't end up doing.
Yeah.
That's one thing that, like, a couple of things I couldn't stream that I would love to film at some point. Like, you can, I think, sleep in the deepest cave in Wales. And I think it's like an hour or 2 hike in a cave. And you could, they've just got Wi-Fi and shit down there.
I've seen the story before.
Yeah.
There's like
the deepest cave in Wales.
Can you Google deepest cave in Wales camping?
How tight is it,
Yeah,
Connor?
this is giving me real nutty
No,
buddy like vibes.
It's chill.
This is how it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. Wales accommodation offers the deepest sleep, 1,300 feet deep.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's like a fucking trek to get there. Look at that. That's your accommodation.
Oh my
Isn't
God.
that sick though?
I would do that.
Right? And I would love to stream that, but maybe that's a wacky weekend.
Oh yeah, good luck
when
getting
are you gonna get the
Wi-Fi down
signal?
there. Yeah.
Wacky weekend with Chris. Chris will hate me. He'll never forgive me. But isn't that sick?
That's so cool.
And you just literally like the inside the room is, look at that first image. That's so fucking sick.
Yeah, that's
Go in
cool
the
as
cave. You're in a
fuck.
fucking cave.
That's cool.
God forbid God knows what creatures are down there though.
Yeah.
What kind of creepy crawlies you'll find.
Let's just hope we don't have a cave in or anything like that.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a ton of other stuff that I would love to do and film at some point. Some stuff I'd love to just film because they're not very good for streaming. But overall, like really, really, really cool.
Yeah,
and
sick.
such an amazing country. And I'm glad I got to show it off. And hopefully I can go back in the future and show it off more again. And thank you so much to everyone who helped make it. And obviously the Visit Wales helped me a lot as well. The Welsh government helped so much with getting permission for everything and sorting everything out. And they were the goat. And it was really cool.
Oh yeah, dude.
Very, very cool. Other than that, went to TwitchCon. That was fun. I choked it right in the end of the chess tournament again.
Of course.
I was winning too. I choked.
I think that's just going to be you anytime you play chess now.
Yeah.
Well,
in
actually,
a
to be fair, the
professional
last
setting.
chess tournament I did before this one, I did win.
Okay.
But you almost choked that. The other guy just
I did almost choke that.
The other guy just choked harder. I remember watching that chess match.
Yeah,
and
that
I was
was-
just like, oh, Connor's choked. He's in a losing position.
I went for a Hail Mary and it worked.
You
Damn.
played the biggest hope chess I've ever seen in my
Fuck
life.
yeah. Fuck yeah. You got to, dude.
Yeah.
I was absolutely crushing this guy and then I lost. So that was sad.
Have you seen that recently over on TikTok? There is now a big like chess boom that has happened ever
course there
since
is.
Magnus lost that match.
No, I didn't know.
Oh.
Have you seen this?
Yeah,
Clip?
I've seen the
The
clip
one
of
where he
Magnus.
like rages?
Yeah. It's
yeah.
become like a huge meme on TikTok now.
I mean, chess. I feel like chess
and there's
is
all
always
these
Yeah.
all these people on TikTok who are just like discovering professional chess.
I'm
now.
like, there's another boom now?
Yeah, there's
God damn,
another
chess
boom
just
that's
keeps
happening.
growing.
It just keeps winning.
It's
That's
just
cool.
Yeah. It was just really surreal just seeing all these like memes around chess. It's like, wait,
Yeah.
when the fuck did this happen?
Fair enough.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, I also went back to
you did,
England as well.
yeah.
The United Kingdom, the UK, actually.
The actual UK.
the actual UK. But I wasn't there for long. Basically was there because I helped sort out a stag do, or for the Americans out there, a bachelor party.
Oh.
And it was actually for a mate from America, actually. He's having, I guess, we have as you know, like a friend group in England, and we wanted to have like a small little celebration, a small little stag do in England as well. So nothing like too big, too major. And I was like, sure, what cities do you want to see? And he was like, okay, what are the best cities for stag do's, right? And I was like looking it up, and I was like, oh, okay, there is, so if you want to go down south where most of my mates are, most of our mates are, Google is telling me that some of the best cities are Brighton or Bristol.
Okay.
That's very good. Or Bournemouth as well is a nice, cool, apparently a nice, cool town. And he looked at it and he was like, huh, I see. So you've given me a choice of the city you were born in or the city you went to university in. I was like, is there some bias here? I'm sensing, and I'm like, no.
All ones that begin with B.
Yeah.
Look. I didn't have any choice that I went to banger cities in my childhood. Okay, look, I'm just giving you what Google is telling me as well. So eventually he chose Brighton, which was good because that means planning was like
Really easy.
Yeah, super
planning was
easy.
super easy for me.
You have to get a hotel. It's
Yeah.
easy. Yeah, it's nice.
Well, we did get an Airbnb right in the
nice,
center
nice.
for
Makes
all
it
the
easier, I suppose.
for all the boys. Literally like walking distance. I didn't even know this Airbnb existed. And I don't know. I think one thing that I've found out from having like my own stag do and seeing other people's stag do, and now like helping to plan this one, is that people have an image of what like a bachelor party or a stag do should be. You get fucking piss drunk most of the times, maybe do some activities. But a lot of the times I've heard stories where people don't even ask the stag what vibe he wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because they don't know, right?
Yeah. So people just like throw in what they've seen from like The Hangover or something like that.
Sure.
But like he said, I gave him a bunch of activities. I was like, we can do this, we can do that, we can do some fucking, extreme stuff.
One in the UK, right?
Paintballing is the big one.
Yeah, paintballing's a big one.
Yeah.
Paintballing.
Yeah,
Paintballing is a big one. So is
boys.
go-karting as well. That's a big one.
Just kind of some guy-ish kind of
Yeah.
thing.
That is the most like boys energy.
Really good drink.
And getting a drink afterwards. But he actually wanted a pretty chill weekend. He was I gave him a bunch of activities. He was like, okay, we got paintballing, go-karting, we can do quad biking as well. We can do some other like axe throwing or all this other like man stuff. And he's like, oh, I want to do crazy golf. And I was like, all right, if that's the vibe. That's the vibe. If that's your vibe, this is your fucking weekend.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we did like some a lot.
Did you take him to the glow in the dark one that's in Brighton?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did Felix take you to that one as well?
Felix took me that one, yeah.
That was actually so fun.
It's so cool. I fucking love that place. I'm like, mini golf in the dark? It can't be that sick, right? And you go and it's like, oh, this is sick. It's so cool.
Yeah, it'd been so long since I'd done mini golf.
Yeah.
And I think I had an advantage because I had just come off from playing actual golf with Sydney's dad in the winter.
Yeah.
So my putting skills are shit.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize my putting skills are probably better than the average person because people don't know how to putt at all.
No.
And we went to this mini golf where each course, if you got over 6, you just had to call it. Like the maximum was 6.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I got a few hole-in-ones. My average was like, 3 to... I was looking around, and of course, you have like 12 drunk lads. Fuck it. It was like... It was like we were like trying to get the number of the devil. All I see on the scorecard is like 666. Like everywhere.
Jesus.
But
so you won if you just got it in less than 6?
Yeah. I literally...
Oh my God.
I won. I'm not trying to brag, but I fucking destroyed the rest of the boys, and I didn't even get par. I got like, like over par. I got like plus. My overall score was like +3.
Yeah.
And the next one was like +13 or something like that.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, mini golf is fucking fun. But I also booked like some other activities that he didn't know about as well. There's this game show experience in Brighton at a pub. Everything I booked was just happened to be at a pub, as it is in England.
Yeah.
Sure.
But there was this game show experience that you can do in Brighton. Highly recommend it. I think it's at the North Lane Brewery. That also have a bunch of other games as well. There is this basically racing car experience, like RC cars, in another pub as well. I think it's the World's End pub in Brighton, which also has an entire top floor arcade as well.
Hell yeah.
Highly recommend that. The boys fucking love that shit.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, the World's End Pub, Brighton. Yeah. There's an entire top floor arcade.
That's cool.
And so yeah, if you go like that picture right there.
Yeah.
So there's an arcade right in front of that.
Oh, that's sick.
And yeah, we just spent like a day getting fucking drunk, and I was like, all right, 10 boys, come up. We're gonna race some cars.
Fuck yeah.
That's sick as fuck.
And I fucking sucked because I came last every single time. To the point where I was doing so bad, and you could tell some boys were taking this way more seriously than other boys. I just did so bad. I tried sabotaging the other boys. And meanwhile, one of the boys next to me being like, all right, I got the perfect line coming up here. And I was like,
hit the apex.
hit the apex of the corner. I got the perfect turn. And I'm like, bro chill, bro. Chill. But yeah, this is highly recommend it if you got doesn't even need to be a group of lads. Just
yeah, that was fun.
This is just a fun ass experience in Brighton.
Great. I gotta go there.
And right in the center of Brighton as well. And most of the time you don't need to book because it's not. I took them to places that are not in the center, but somewhere where it's not easily findable for like tourists and stuff. Because when people go to Brighton, most of the time they want to go see the pier, they go by the seafront and stuff like that. And to me, as a local, I think that's bait because holy shit, there are so many fucking people there.
Yeah.
And a lot of the comments you see when you say, oh, I'm sorting a stag do in Brighton, is that don't go to Brighton because you're not going to be able to find places or bars that let you in. And that is true if you stay in the center by the seafront where basically everyone else is, all the tourists are. Right. But if you go just a little further out, you can go to like pubs like this. I took them to a bar where you basically, you request your own song as well, where you just, as a group, you just make your own playlist.
That's kind of cool.
And I just basically took them on the bar crawl. And I tried to add a little bit of a personal touch as well. I don't know about you guys, but I find it a fucking nightmare booking a nice meal for 12 boys or just like a big group in general.
Yeah. Someone's always going to be picky.
Yeah, someone's always picky. And also it's like this balance of like finding a good restaurant versus finding a restaurant that will actually fit 12 people.
Yeah. Oh my God, 12 people is a nightmare.
Yeah. So
in Japan, that's like impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was
gotta book like 3 months in advance.
You have to book so far ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Weekend?
Yeah.
You want to book on a weekend for 12 people in Japan? Good
Hell
luck.
Yeah. So I was like, don't worry. You're my boy. I'm going to give you the best meal of your life. Cooked in my world famous lasagna.
Oh, let's go. Boys.
Cost effective.
Cost effective as well.
How many lasagnas was that? Like 8?
Huh?
How many lasagnas did you cook?
I cooked a lot of lasagna.
Yeah, that's 12 boys. That's a lot of fucking lasagna.
And it was gone.
Jesus.
It was fucking gone. But we had a good weekend. I actually had, I actually met a few fans, and a lot of times when we talk about fan experiences, it's like, I had this like awkward fan experience. This is the first time I think I gave a fan an awkward experience. I actually turned the tables, right?
Okay.
Because we were in the middle of a stag do. We were in the middle of the stag do, and obviously I was leading the boys, so I was like walking far ahead, and I get stopped by a fan, and I'm like, oh no. And he was like, yo, can I take a picture? Is it okay? And I'm like, sure. Let's make it quick. I wasn't saying this for me because I knew what was about to happen. So he quickly takes the picture, and then all I hear is a crowd of boys going, hey, dickhead, hey, yo, is that the anime zone? Yo, you're a fan of the anime zone? You like this, man? And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh God!
Like this poor guy who just see me, and I was like, I'm so sorry. On a stag do right now. I knew there was a timer before they saw me.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with obviously a group of boys who are not so versed in like the YouTuber sphere.
Who are also pissed as well.
Who are also inebriated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just glad I got to show the boys around Brighton. Brighton has changed so fucking much. It is such a different city. There is not only like so much more to do there now. There are some places that have just gotten way too fucking crowded for my liking. The one biggest change I wasn't a fan of was they now charge. So Brighton has a pier. It's the Palace Pier, right? It's been free my entire life. And this time going back is the only time I see that they started charging people to go in. And I'm like, it's done. Brian's gotten too popular.
Damn.
Charging £2 entry to go onto the pier? Yeah.
Just a piece of fucking wood?
Yeah. What the fuck?
to go to the amusement pier? Wow. Not my Brighton anymore. Not my Brighton.
Fuck, that's lame.
Yeah.
That is lame.
But I did have on the trip in general, it was nice. I also got to see like friends and family, got to see my nephew. Oh my God. So my nephew, if you remember, I gifted him, before I gifted my nephew a bunch of different manga, right?
Yes.
From, I believe we gifted him Vinland Saga, Naruto, Full Metal Alchemist.
It's like giving a time capsule of culture to someone.
Yeah. Just throwing out every different genre. And so we were like, oh, we're gonna see him again. So I, hit up my cousin, his mom, I was like, oh, what was the one that he liked the most? And she was like, oh, there's one that he reads like daily. And I was like, okay. Which one is it?
Not Naruto.
It was Orange.
What?
Orange?
What?
Orange?
He likes orange? Wow.
Okay.
I was like, okay. My boy's into shoujo. Okay.
Slightly based.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah. That I was not expecting because I did not even put orange in there.
It just found that.
No, it was Sydney.
Oh, okay.
It was Sydney bringing like the female touch. Being
Sure,
like, I'm gonna throw in some shoujo manga.
Entry-level shoujo, yeah.
Entry-level shoujo manga that I enjoyed.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, apparently he really liked orange, and I want to eat your pancreas as well.
Oh, shit.
So I was like,
That's
Well, you
super
gave
cute.
him I want to eat your pancreas?
yes, yeah. Well, that was also Sydney, actually.
Of course it was. That didn't need to be said.
I mean, it's a fantastic manga, but
Yeah.
that's based.
Yeah, I was like, my boy's got some base taste,
Hell yeah.
man. And so we were like, so I was like going around the manga shop. I was like, shit, well, this is completely
Throwing me off, yeah.
throwing me off about what manga I should be giving to him. It seems like he likes some of the more emotional stories.
Yeah. The sensitive romances.
Yeah. So I gave him, so obviously we gave them more volumes of Orange.
Yeah.
And I was like, I actually didn't know what else to recommend, what else to introduce him to.
Maybe like
I'm
maybe like Blue Box.
Blue Box, yeah. I was thinking like Fruits Basket.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Fruits Basket.
because I was like,
That's a solid one.
That's a cute one. Yeah.
Because a lot of these are just like shows that I'm proud because I'm like, this is going down a completely different path to what I
quickly strayed away from the normie path. That's
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
I mean, I was praying for not Naruto.
Yeah.
And when I got to see him again, he was like, "Oh, I've got a gift for you as well."
Aww.
And I was like, "For me? You got a gift for me?"
Yeah.
And it's the first time I've been gifted someone by one of my nieces or nephews, and he apparently it was his money that he had saved up from his allowance.
Oh.
And he gave me a Minecraft keychain because he just went to a Minecraft event, and I'm just like, I don't play Minecraft, but this is never coming off.
That now
my
you have to.
keychain.
Now you have to.
I'm like, holy shit, this
That's
is
so cute.
Oh,
Can you
man.
imagine? You're already like the cool uncle who has shown him the world of manga.
Yeah.
On top, if you fucking master Minecraft on top of that shit,
Yeah. Bro,
you are like ultimate
Yo,
uncle
when are we
status.
next playing Minecraft? Because I need to start playing Minecraft now.
You gotta
man.
start like quoting the movie to him. You go, I am Steve.
So chicken jockey, Enderpearl, am I right?
Endful. But yeah, after seeing some friends and family, there was this thing that kept cropping up that is nothing to do with like seeing friends and family, but I wanted to bring it to you boys because this is more of a general topic,
Okay.
right? And it's a topic that I'm going to say, and people are going to be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
But I've noticed that it is slowly becoming a part of our normal lives,
Okay.
right? So, AI.
Oh.
So obviously, we are very, very well versed in the anime community, the artist community, especially online. There seems to be a certain discourse and a certain mentality towards.
I should see where you're going with this.
Towards AI, right?
Yeah,
and I agree with that on my personal moral compass, right?
Yeah.
But there were certain points within this trip that I encountered something that was just like, I'm not entirely happy with it, but it's something that was to me in a gray area. All right. So I've actually got a list, right?
Okay.
If this happens to you, where would you think? How would you react to this? Like internally, not externally. How would you react to this internally?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, on the stag do, right? One of the boys wants to gift everyone a nice little memoria, right? Mm-hmm. So they make a bunch of pint glasses for everyone, and they had laser engraved a cute little art piece just for a memorial for the stag do, with like the stag name and a cute little art piece. Art piece was AI generated.
I see.
They would not have gone out and hired an artist themselves, but they just wanted to do something nice to give everyone like a nice little memorial to take home for this memory.
Yeah.
How do we feel about that?
Where I wouldn't want it. I don't know. I feel like what would have made it special is that you had kind of maybe got this artwork, and I understand that he wouldn't have got it, but I think I'd rather not have it than have it in my mind, because I feel like having a piece of like for the group in my head is like, okay, well, a computer has decided this is what our stag is, and now I got to keep this glass this little shitty drawn artwork that doesn't look very good.
Yeah, I think I would have been happier if like the person who had gifted that and had found that AI artwork would have just drawn a really shit picture themselves. I think that would be more memorable and funny.
Or like, man, for me, even just having like a Polaroid on my fridge or something rather than a pint glass or like, I don't know, buy everyone the same fucking ring. Even if I don't wear it, I can keep it in my I feel like there's a lot of better options that don't require you to use AI.
Yeah.
And I feel like that scenario, I know that you're not selling it or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'd be like, man, why'd you go do that?
Yeah, because it also in a weird way taints that memory slightly, because like every time you look at that glass now, it's like, oh, you remember the good times, but then also this AI image is staring back at you as well,
Yeah, because
it's very conflicting.
Yeah, I was conflicted as well, but it was just like, to me, I saw that.
I mean, they were probably really excited about
it. Yeah. Because here's the thing. All they wanted to do was just have a nice thing just to celebrate this memory that we were about to create. And of course, they were never going to go out their way to hire an artist or anything like that. It was just something that, because honestly, I didn't even know it was AI generated. That's the thing, it was just kind of a clip art. It was the equivalent of like a clip art kind of thing, right?
Right.
I wouldn't have been able to tell at all. But it was just a person trying to give something cool for the group and just trying to add just this little thing.
Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
I think this is my main issue with creative AI is that, like you said, right? He's using it because he would not have got an artist.
Yeah.
In my mind, I feel like people use that as a defense, and it's like, well, not defense, but like to justify, right? I'm using this AI because I never would have got this artist. And it's like, I don't think AI should be a tool that just allows people to, like, how do I say this? Like, you're not entitled to have a fucking art, you know what I mean, or an artist. And so in my mind, it's like you feel that you are entitled to get this thing, and so you are just asking this machine to allow you to do it and circumvent everything. It's like a game when people ask, like, is it okay to use AI voices or anything like that? It's like, your game doesn't need AI voices. It doesn't need voice acting. There's plenty of extremely successful games that don't have voice acting and have managed without voice actors. You're not entitled to have like voice acting in your game just because you're making a game. And I think that like there should be like a better solution and more effort put in. You are just using AI to shortcut having to put any work in, to just skip a bunch of process. And in turn, you are harming people who actually do work in that thing that you are trying to then take advantage of. I think that's the problem, is that like it's like a thing of, I wouldn't have made something. It's like, yeah, but you fucking you did. You did use
but
it.
It's also that, but it's also
so you
that,
thought about it.
Yeah, but like, not to give like the benefit of the doubt, but it's also that situation where like, this isn't one, like, something that was made for commercial purposes, one. And two, I assume your friend that made that is not really in touch with like the artist community online, right? So they don't feel as strongly about it as say we do.
This is why I wanted to bring this up, because everything I'm about to mention is all examples of just people I've hung out with that are just normal people. They are just living their lives. They are not a part of this conversation. At all. And
so in their mind, it's like, oh, what's the problem when it's just, 12 pint glasses or however many it was, and I'm not selling it or anything, and it's more for like a sentimental thing. Like, what's the harm done in that, right? I feel that's the argument that gets thrown, but
it's like it's because
I'm not like I think we're all obviously adult enough to recognize that we're not fucking stupid, that it doesn't fucking matter if someone made pine glasses with AI. Like, it doesn't matter, right? Realistically. Like, that person is not the fucking needle that is moving it. I think it's just like the more normal it comes to just do that, to think like, oh, I'll just get AI for this. Oh, I'm redoing my kitchen. Let me just get AI to design it. You know, like it's like the more normal, actually that doesn't sound like a bad idea in terms of like using, like I think as a tool, there are uses. Like if you wanted to, like I just fucking said, if you want to redesign your kitchen, fuck it. Get it to generate what a kitchen might look like. Well, who fucking cares?
Okay.
But like, I think when you're asking it to like, you are like distributing artwork, or you're kind of like, you're making it more normal to make artwork and use that artwork. I think that's where it's like an issue. I think like, if I need something to gather, like I think there is a lot of value in it sorting information, like sorting your fucking speech into bullet points so you can remember it easier. Like that kind of stuff is super useful. Do you have an Excel spreadsheet that needs to be cleaned up slightly? Great, get the fucking robot to do it. You know,
totally.
Great, awesome. Like I think like it's like we've always had AI or creative tools that have been adaptive, but I think it's the way that we're using it and how normalized it should come. I think ultimately you're not fucking entitled to skill that is people work very hard on.
Okay. Next example. Okay. Your family member has a wallpaper of a family portrait that's been put through the Ghibli AI filter.
Like, no. Darn it.
No, I will personally call out my family if that shit happens. Especially if it's like, if they come up to me and they're like, hey, Joey, we know you like Ghibli. We know you like anime. Look at this cute gift we made through AI. I will be like, bro, I know so many artists.
Well, no. It was a phone wallpaper on their phone of their family portrait.
No, I'm calling them out on that shit.
I think that's easier than the glass one, because the glass one, they've already made it. They've brought them. I'd have a hard time being like, you know, I would probably be like, hey, man, like, I appreciate it. I'm kind of good. I don't want the AI shit. If I knew it was AI, I mean, that's the problem. I wouldn't fucking know, probably, like you said.
That's the problem, right?
The Ghibli thing, all right. I think the way the process would be like, all right, do you, why couldn't you just have a picture of your family? Are they too ugly? Why do we have to animify your family? Are they just straight up too fucking ugly to look at? Come on. Okay, then if no, you really like it, I really like this artwork. I think it's cool. It's way better than the picture of my family for some reason. Okay. All right. So then you'd ask, all right, well then why don't you just hire someone you could find an artist on any of these websites. There's Fiverr, whatever the fuck. No, the Fiverr's terrible, but there are a lot of websites where you can hire artists, even if you're not in the Twitter sphere of artist connections.
I'm like, just ask me. I'll find you an artist if you don't know where to look for it. And
if you're
we'll
like,
get you someone.
I don't want if I want to pay for it. I'm like, then why do you have it as your phone background? Because clearly you don't care enough about it to fucking pay for the skill to be put into making you fucking Ghibli. Just put your picture of your family like every normal person. God damn it. I think I would, the
Ghibli AI thing is...
I would say something.
Yeah,
I'd be like, why do you have AI? Is my face too ugly for you to look at?
Take a nice picture right now.
Let's just
take a picture right now
together. The picture that you put into the machine to make this, use that.
Just use that.
All right.
But it's not pretty and colorful. You're not entitled to it. You're not entitled.
Next example.
Okay.
One of your bros tells you that... Here's the big one. Here's the big one that started the big debate.
Okay.
One of your bros tells you that they have jacked it to AI hentai before.
That's a no. I think you were going to say, what if your best man used AI to write a speech for the wedding? I think that's a tough one. No, this is a no. This is don't fucking jack off.
No, this is the one where I was like, nah.
He would not be my bro anymore.
I already know in the head of the friend group, I know which one would have done it. I think I know who.
I would have a stern conversation with them to be like, so what made you want to do that? What was it about this particular piece of...
I'm going to ask you after the episode if it was this person I think it is.
Okay.
So what is it about this particular AI-generated piece of hentai animation that made you go, yes?
No, what's crazy is that there's so much hentai and there's so much porn. We don't have a shortage.
Totally.
It's one of the things we have an absolute abundance over.
I 100% agree. But, as AI gets better and better, you know, in the future. Because right now I'm like, I'm like, yo, fucking Dojins all the fucking way, right?
Yeah.
But AI is going to get better and better, and people just be fucking horny. I don't.
Bro, I just when I watch hentai, I'm like masterful artwork being created.
Yeah.
It's beautiful because voice actors hired, animators composing every shot. I don't want to fucking ones and zeros composing this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to beat off to the Matrix.
Yeah.
I'm trying to beat off to some fucking beautiful artwork.
Because what all this made me realize, right? All of these fucking
This is like irredeemably down bad, by the way. I just want to,
yeah. We can all agree. Yeah.
What all of this made me realize is that I just realized how important I think intent is. Right?
Yes.
I think to me intent is everything.
Yeah.
And when I see like an AI piece of art, for example, especially if it's like let's say in this case it's like AI hentai.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, as soon as I know a piece of art is AI, I'm like, it is empty to me.
Yes.
Right?
No
And I didn't realize this because to me, now that I think about it, to me, like art is kind of like a communication between a person and the artist, even in fucking hentai, right?
Yes.
Even in the smuttiest fucking dojins, knowing that a person.
I agree even more so.
There's a degenerate that is just
there is
figured this shit out.
There is a degenerate that knows what they want to put down on paper, and that is to make the most fucking degenerate stuff.
It's like, this is the shit I'm into, and I hope you will be into it as well.
Yeah.
You know, like when you watch Disney kids, when you're a kid and you watch Disney movies and they always talk about like soul and all this shit.
Yeah.
And you're a kid, you're like, what the fuck? And you actually like, now we're being tested constantly.
Yeah.
And if we can recognize soul in things, like, is there intent? Is there like a person behind this? Is there like a reason this exists?
Does this pass the Goon Turing test?
Yeah, exactly. Because to me, the pint glass was like the biggest moral dilemma for me because I look at that.
You understood it come from a good place,
and I see the intent behind it. And I'm like, I look at that and I'm like, that was a good fucking weekend.
Yeah, and also all of these hypotheticals, right? Like you know this, mate. The viewers have no idea who this person is. They don't have any of the background of he's a good bloke. He's a good guy, right? And he's a good man.
Oh no, everyone I'm talking about is a good fucking bloke on the level.
It's so easy to answer this hypothetical when you don't know the person.
Yeah.
I think it'd be like, that's wrong. I would have said something. It's like, well, maybe it's your mate, and you know it was harmless, and you know it wasn't.
But you gotta think about it in the shoes of, say, if it was your mate personally.
But then I don't want every fucking mate gathering to have a fucking commemorative item with AI artwork on it. I want to stamp that out right now.
No. Yeah,
I want that. This better not be the norm.
Yeah. No. I agree with that. On the other side, I also don't want to be that fucking person who, like, anytime someone does something out of like goodwill,
you don't want to be the
right? I don't want to be like, oh, you fucking dickhead! I can't believe you fucking done this.
Yeah, and a lot of the fucking conversation you have online about this, people don't like, they talk like they've never fucking been in the real world. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The way people talk online, you'd think that like they've never interacted with a human being.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's gotten like so much worse.
I don't want to talk to my mate like a Twitter person talks to another Twitter person.
You're fucking quote retweeting IRL. You're just shouting at him and just kind of like,
at Brock, is he a terrible person?
Oh, you use AI art? Well, you are actually one of the worst people in the world.
Realistically, I would take it, I'd be thankful, and there'd probably be a point in the night where I was like, hey man, I just so you know, like I'm not really like too big on the whole AI thing, and like I appreciate what you did.
Yeah. I will keep this, but maybe next time let's not do that.
Especially because it's something like, there's a lot of like adjacent industries doing voice acting and stuff like that too, or like music. There's like a lot of, it's not good for us. It's like really bad. So, I'm sure, a lot of the time people who aren't in those adjacent industries, it's kind of hard to appreciate why we might be upset about it.
Well, it's because like, I think what this made me realize is that it's just going to become more.
This is going to be a constant thing.
This is going to be a constant thing. Yes. So I'm like trying to figure out how do I approach this, because I think the biggest way to push people away from like, hey, there is a moral compass to this is, number one, not to like shout at them every fucking time. Unless
that's never proven to work.
Unless they jack off to hentai.
Then it'd be like, get your hand off your dick right now.
That is actually diabolical. That's diabolical.
Cut that shit out.
That's genuinely. That's so bad. That's so bad.
That's fucked.
Have you seen the stats of people who like have a romantic connection now to like these chatbots?
I assume it's quite high.
It's a worrying amount of people who have like a dependence on talking to chatbots now.
Yeah, right.
It is genuinely worrying.
Yeah.
Like, it's worrying.
Talk
Worrying
to
stuff.
someone, guys, please.
Yeah.
That's
A human.
That's the problem. They don't know how.
Yeah.
It's quite sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty good at learning you, these machines.
But it's fucking weird to think now where you know that we grew up in a time where we are the generation that grew up in a time before the internet,
Yes.
but also experienced the birth of the internet as well.
Yeah.
And we are the ones preaching that, hey guys, the internet isn't the world, the internet isn't life, there is a world outside that. And
It's
we are
cool, but a balance is necessary.
Yeah, and we are the best generation that is educated enough to tell to everyone else that what is a healthy relationship with the internet. Bro, you fucking Gen Zs and Gen Alphas. This is what this made me realize that it's up to you now because you have lived in a world before AI content and you're going to live in a world after AI content.
Yeah.
So it's going to be up to you guys to preach to fucking Gen Betas or whatever to be this is how your relationship with AI content should be because it is going to become a part of our lives, That's
I just think how much cooler would you feel when you got those beer glasses if you'd known that he'd hired an artist direct, that's so sick. That's irreplaceable.
Yeah, no,
And
absolutely.
then now it's just okay.
But it's almost impossible to have this kind of this conversation online because, more likely than not, you're going to get shut up, punk, you fell off.
Yeah.
Add Grok, block him. But no, I think it is important. And again, it's all about, intent and also just in terms of just how you interact with things like AI, things with the internet, now that it's just going to become more and more normalized. And look, at the end of the day, we might just be old man yelling at cloud and this is a war that we're not going to win. Yeah. When it comes to the dependency of AI.
I don't think we are going to win.
But, I think it's all about, we're not saying all AI equals bad. It's just a balance is very, very important.
I figure we need some kind of way to there's too much AI stuff now. There needs to be a way that we can watermark real things. In a way that AI can't. I just don't know how.
But, I feel like we don't need to because it's it's gotten to that point now where enough people are interacting with AI. And, as you said, right, there's that point where you look at something that's AI and it feels soulless.
Yeah.
And on the contrary, you look at something that is human made. And as corny as it sounds, it's you can feel the spirit or the soul of it, right?
Fucking dumbass people on the internet can't.
But that's the thing. It's that's so what we need to, that's what people need to figure out though.
Well, I think the best example for this, in terms of feeling that connection between, hey, this is a piece of art made by a human versus made by AI. I remember watching the AlphaGo documentary where it's this is when this is when AI players first started becoming a thing where I think it was Google or something made an AI that could play Go, which is one of the most complex games on Earth, right? And they played one of the top players of Go. And I'm pretty sure anyone who's ever tried to play against an AI chess robot or anything like that, where there's something suffocating about it, right? Because there was this line in the documentary where the person was losing against the AI, and subconsciously he would try to look into the eyes of the person playing it, and then he realized this person was just putting down a thing that the computer told him to put down, and there was just he looked at this person and nothing came back, and it's just that's how I feel whenever I see something and I'm I know it's AI generated. Where I look at something and there's something
you're looking at it, but it's not looking back at you.
Yeah, it's so weird because like you said, as a child, you're what the fuck is this soul thing behind art? And now I fucking get it.
Yeah.
Because to me, I look at something made by a human. It could be the shittest piece or ever, but I'm someone made this. There was intent behind this. There was thought behind this.
You feel some value towards it. Whether even if it's not necessarily the best thing ever or anything that necessarily moved you or anything, it's but I still see the value in this because someone took the time and the creative energy to actually make this thing.
Yeah.
And
it's very annoying.
Yeah.
And it's very annoying that people just keep calling everything fake or things that are real they call fake. Sorry, or things that are fake they call real. So annoying. On my second channel, we work with a lot of artists to make the thumbnails. If you want to pull it up for a second, and the thumbnails, honestly, so fucking goated. And the amount of fucking comments we get, people are like, "This is AI." All the drawn ones you can see. With like some of them like movie posters.
Yeah.
Like some of them are insane. Like that one, like the mouth washing one.
Yeah.
There's some like true we try to draw as many cool ones as we can, and so many times people are like, "This is AI." It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it is
piece of
annoying.
shit.
It is annoying.
But yeah.
It's kind of scary where it's getting to the point where you look at any piece of art and the first thing people think of is this AI?
Yeah,
and it shouldn't be that way.
I mean, I hate it.
It should not be that way.
It's gone to the point where I've been fooled sometimes, and now I'm like second guessing myself.
Everything,
and it's so hard to
It's
tell.
something that I fucking despise.
Yeah.
Because I think the first time I got fooled by like an AI generated video was there was this video with like a emotional support kangaroo that got spread around, and I don't know if you've seen this video.
No.
Can you search up emotional support kangaroo?
It's just you just have to try and not interact with it when possible. Like anything with AI voices on Shorts or TikTok, I just skip. I just immediately skip. But then again, they're getting good now, and it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
It takes me a second.
This is it. So this was just a funny little thing where a woman was being refused
it's
entry
AI.
because of an emotional sport kangaroo, and it was just like this is a funny little video.
Yeah.
Just found out, that's AI.
God, that's scary.
And
you could have fooled me.
Yeah. Because when you are not looking for it, it's just fucking impossible to tell.
Yeah.
And if you do go under a microscope, you can see like, the hand movements are like a little bit off.
Yeah.
But no one's focusing on that shit. I saw this and I was like, ha. I didn't know there was emotional sport kangaroos now.
Do you guys have that one friend that is like insistent that AI can like do everything, and they keep fucking bringing it up?
No. Luckily, no.
I've got to make the fucking, oh my God. They're just like everything. They're like, I'm going to ask ChatGPT about this. I'm going to put it, I'm like, what? Shut the fuck up. Think for yourself, man. Do something on your own for once. So annoying.
Yeah.
Luckily, luckily I don't have a friend like that, but yeah, pretty much everyone, including like my parents right now, they unknowingly just have AI in their lives. I mean, I think my mum sent me an AI video once. She didn't know it was AI. I could tell her.
Yeah, it's not about.
I could tell immediately.
The top comment on this Reddit post actually like perfectly sums it up in my opinion, where they just said it's a pretty convincing AI video, especially for someone casually scrolling, which is what most people do.
Yeah.
And they don't think too hard about it. They're just like, oh yeah, it's a video.
I mean,
cool.
I think no one is going to be able to have 100% success rate of catching AI or not. I think it's just going to be like, are you trying to post, are you trying to push it, or are you just accidentally interacting with it? I think there's a massive difference.
But that's also the dilemma,
exactly,
right? It's like, you like people who actually care about that kind of stuff like us, for example, who work in the creative field, like we look at this and we see that it's AI. And then the argument is like, what are you going to do about it? It's not going to stop people from making more AI videos, right? So it's kind of just like, you're just fighting with yourself at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Being like, I'm angry, but I don't know what to do with this anger that I have towards these AI videos, unfortunately.
You just have to hope that real art becomes more valuable.
Yeah.
I think it will.
I think it will.
I think it has to happen, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, what I think is people will never stop yearning for human connection.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Maybe this is going to be a boomer mentality in the next 30 years. Who knows if the new generation will care or not.
I think there's going to be a lot of shitty side effects that come from this.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It's going to not be fun.
Scary to watch.
Yeah. But I think it is very important where eventually it's got to be watermarked some way.
Yeah.
Because the amount of AI stuff being produced over real is like, it's impossible to even come close to the scale.
Someone's going to make an AI that will capture AI videos.
Well,
I mean,
it's a constant arms race now.
Yeah.
The AI detection and AI tools that try to fight it. But at some point, it surely will just get to the point where it is indistinguishable from being real.
Yeah.
I mean, there will be a point, right? Like,
and at that point is when you should all stop going on the internet and interact with the real world.
I wonder at that point, because once it gets to a critical mass of stuff like that, where it is genuinely impossible to separate in any capacity. I mean, you just can't use some of these video services, surely.
Yeah.
And you can't trust anything.
Yeah.
And that's going to suck. And you know what? Maybe that will bring about the rise of local communities again.
Yeah, legit.
I'm waiting,
Legit.
and I feel like this is going to happen at some point. There's going to be like a YouTuber who blows up who is like entirely AI. Like maybe he wears a mask or like some of the shit.
You know,
there's going to be some YouTuber that
I wouldn't be surprised if that already exists and we just don't know it.
And then like someone's going to leak it or it's going to come out and it's going to be a massive fucking drama and people are going to feel super baited and they're like, I bought merch and it's going to be a whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm calling it right now. It's going to happen at some point.
It probably exists right now. We probably just don't know that they're AI.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something, I guess our like generation's experience of that was like, remember like back in early YouTube? I don't know if any of you boys.
I know the girl you're talking about.
Lonely Girl 15.
Yeah,
Lonely Girl 15.
Do you remember that entire fucking debacle?
Oh yeah.
Paid for YouTuber?
Yeah, so if you didn't know, this was right at the beginning of YouTube. And there was this channel called Lonely Girl 15. And it was just this girl who was just doing like daily vlogs, you know, just normal YouTube vlogs. Eventually gathered an audience, and then it came out that she was an actress.
Yeah.
And this is all scripted. This was all faked and produced by
social experiment,
a production company.
Yeah.
And everyone freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
And that was like the biggest scandal back in the day. This is gonna blow way fucking past that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because at least even then it was still produced by humans. Like, even if the persona was fake, that persona was made by a different human.
Yes.
Whereas this is on a completely different level.
Yeah.
The robot overlords are going to take over, and we have, as humanity, have to make sure that doesn't happen. One AI video at a time.
Well,
but we'll never stop being real,
and we
right,
will
guys?
never jack it to AI hentai.
Yeah.
No.
And if we do,
That's a promise. That's a promise.
Yeah, and if we do, we want you guys to call us out. But hey, you know who is not AI? Our patrons.
Oh, thank God.
They are
AI.
real humans who support
you.
us because they are the best. And if you guys want to support the show and get access to exclusive Patreon-only content that we do every single week, then you can do that by heading over to patreon.com/trashtaste. In fact, we have a brand new video that you guys can go check out right after this episode. Maybe I'll play a clip of that.
Holy shit. Wait. Oh my God, no!
Oh, man.
I thought I was going to dunk that. Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Mouse! Oh my God, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh no.
Sorry. God damn it,
Joey? Brother? What the fuck?
My bad, OG. I just want to play around.
Oh, yeah. I got it in 10 hours ago. Wait, Garnt got it in 5 too? Wait, I got it in 5.
Yeah, I got it in 5.
Wait, shit. Wait, why was I bragging the whole time?
You're bragging over a bogey?
But hey, if you want to check that out and support the show in the process, again, head on over to patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us some memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. And yeah. Fuck AI videos.
Fuck it all.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.